We are live. Okay, so Margaret, one of the things that you would have found out over the last couple of weeks as you work in unison with Jack is that there's no like pattern to these kids disappearing. I mean, close in order, and then there was several days before another one disappears. And when the kids disappear, it really leaves. It's like there's no sign of any sort of struggle or anything. Most of their belongings are still left in like a little foot locker underneath their bed. Maybe you've talked kind of just with other kids, and you've never heard anything. So do you guys have any questions? Are there anything, I guess what I would ask, is there anything specific that you guys would have done in those 2 weeks?
Are they disappearing? Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Is Allie safe? Or,
Yes, your daughter Alice is safe. Now, can I just ask you a question? Does she know that you're her father, or she just know you as the friendly maintenance guy, the guy that works on the boiler?
it would. I think I would probably try to keep it quiet, not so much from her, but knowing that if the people in charge found out, there could be some issues. So she probably doesn't know.
Yeah, luckily for you, no one has kind of put together that even though there's some pretty similarities between how you look and how she looks. Down to even the same kind of shock color of her hair, as if yet has put that piece together.
But being the janitorial staff, I probably would have checked the grounds to see if there was any signs of like forced entry or broken locks or windows or.
Yep. Probably the only strange thing that you found on one of the last kids that disappeared, on a windowsill, you find this very like of dust or dirt. It's very fine. You guess that someone could easily sweep it up, mistaking it for just something left behind by kids, a dirty kid coming in after play or something. Interesting that you would appeared locked.
Are the kids disappearing at night or all throughout the day?
Only at night. There's fewer staff around. Like all the kids, they do the head count at the end of the day. The nuns that run this place, and warning that the missing children are found.
And what's the age range of the kids that have gone missing?
Between the ages of 8 and 13.
What was the name of the nun who ran the orphanage again?
Oh yeah, it's Mother Agnes. You would find her. She's an old, stern, very old school nun. She's very strict, quick to use the corporal punishment with children when they kind of died of the expected behavior. But she's definitely she thinks that you guys would find out in your couple of weeks. Kids are just runaways. These kids have kind of maybe conspired, and over time they've run away from this home. But so she's kind of bowed under the pressure of a couple of the other nuns to hire these private investigators that are set to arrive shortly.
So what I would do is pull the entire staff backgrounds and proceed to go through each one background to see if they have any type of illicit past, and possibly see if anyone is that might fit a profile as a predator, abuser of children, and then go from there.
Okay. Josh, you're going to say something, so I'll let you finish what you were going to say, and then I want to get to what Luther, and I'm assuming helping Luther in this task.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just thinking that that's not going to be good for when they pull out my past.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right, yeah. So you guys pull up, you guys look at all these old records, and for the most part, nothing really stands out to you. You do notice that over the last few weeks, they did hire on a gentleman by the name of Jack Abbott, who had served some arson. Is there any other offenses that would have been on there, or would arson have been the main offense for you, Jack?
Just
Any more is on you?
No, just arson, and I kind of got off on a plea bargain to give information.
You did any real hard time?
Right.
Yeah. So you see that, but you would also. But one of the things that would stand out to the two of you, I mean, you guys have been doing this PI work for a while, is that these kids were disappearing well before this gentleman was hired on. I mean, he was only hired on a few weeks ago, and kids have been disappearing since mid-June. But other than that, you see, there's nothing. A couple of the nuns were much younger, had some misdemeanor crimes. A couple of them were involved in some work around suffrage, and the orderlies. That's Matt Brown. He has a couple of minor offenses for assaults and public intoxication, but other than that, nothing.
So no one has a history of a childhood history. Has anyone come up to be subjects to that has been physically or sexually abused in their early childhood by any chance?
No.
Any police reports or anything of that nature showing a history of abuse of any kind?
No, probably the only one that really would stands out the most to you is this Jack character. He was hired actually after several months, a couple of months after the first child was disappeared. His rap sheet would stand out the most to the two of you.
Okay, and then
unless you're feeling lucky.
Feeling lucky.
You want to roll against
I'm
your
gonna go
luck?
based upon like the information I currently have, and if I get some type of gut reaction to somebody, I'll go from there. But basically, I'm clearing the personnel, and then I also want to investigate the history of the overall orphanage.
Oh, the home itself. The home itself.
Yeah, like what has past been? Has there been any other things similar to this? Trying to set up a line to see if there's been a history of abduction of children disappearing, or is this something that's just brand new to the facility?
All right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So you spend the better part of a few days, I guess, in the town office, just digging deep on this. What is everybody else? What are you doing, Elias? And what are you? How about the rest of you?
It's way too much Luther.
Great show.
Elias would be helping out Luther on his research, perhaps the old, I forget what it's called now, microfilm in the library style, going through and looking at the history.
So you guys would be digging into some pretty old stuff. I mean, the church has owned this house for several decades. So why don't you guys give me? You could probably do this as a sort of maybe an intelligence check. Can you digging through these?
Right. I've messed around with Call of Cthulhu too much. So what dice do I roll?
Is that what it's called, Josh? As an intelligence check against their intelligence
What? Oh,
skill? I don't have your sheets in front of me.
If we are looking through documents, it would more likely be library use, or maybe a spot hidden. If it's
Do either of you have that as a skill, library?
I do
Library
have library
use
use, yeah.
50% total, I believe.
Also,
it's pretty good.
Okay.
So roll below
So-
or under 50%. I rolled a 21. Is that sufficient?
So you guys are, you're just starting to get frustrated, and as you throw a book onto the stack of books you have, you see this paper kind of drops out of this book you had already looked through, and you wonder how you must have missed this. But as you look at it, it's this old ancient, well, not ancient, but it's an old folded deed that was stuck into this ledger in the at the town office, and you see that the house was owned by the Brigant family. Henry Brigant was the last owner, and you guys would know him. He was a poet, and upon his death, he to the church for his philanthropic give his life. As far as so that actually gives you a good lead, and from that you're able to dig up more information. And what you find out is they're a pretty well-known family in West Haven, and but no sorts of scandals or anything. Anyways.
I'll go to the house, talk to the nuns, and see if they can give me background of all the children that disappeared, and try to
Cool.
see if there's any correlation between the kids.
And Margaret is going to be talking to the kids that are left and see if the ones who've gone missing had played in a certain area or, gotten in trouble or done anything out of the ordinary before they went missing.
Right. So maybe you talk with a couple of the kids that played along with the last child that went missing. As you talk with these children, what they tell you, we were just playing, that they were playing this new game, that her name was Olivia, that Olivia had taught them. It was kind of like a tag or hide and is like a tag game where you hid. You tried to run to this safe zone, and unless you tag, but if you tagged them, they could not move. But they did that off in the outskirts of the grounds, and but that's probably the only thing that really stands out to you, Margaret, as you talking with these kids.
Right.
Okay, so we'll pick up right now. Now that you guys have done sort of this background stuff, it brings us up to present time. So you guys roll up in a taxi, Elias and Luther. You pay the cab driver, and you see a nun waiting for you on the covered steps of this home, the St. Nicholas Children's Home, and she's smiling at you, and she had it in front of her. It's a very young looking nun. She smiles at the two of you as you guys walk up the stairs toward her. I am Sister Mary. We have been waiting for you. Mother Agnes asked that I bring you right to her.
I'm okay. That worked. Lead the way, sister.
And she doesn't actually move when you say that, Luther. She kind of looks towards Elias.
Yeah, Elias will
Are
take
you,
his hat off his head and just kind of motion.
very good then. And she leads you into the main foyer of the um, and in there you see a gentleman. Jack, why don't you describe yourself to these two PIs as the foyer, and you're in there. It's on a door that was not closing properly.
Yeah, you would probably see Jack still wearing the coverall he received from working on the railroad, just covered in oil and coal. And he's smiling, trying to be nice to the kids, getting a little annoyed as they run by and kind of interrupt his work. He's a little bit older, late 30s. His hair is kind of beginning to gray. His skin is slightly weathered from spending so much time in the sun. He even squints when he looks off into the distance, not really being able to afford glasses. And you can tell that there's one girl, a little brunette girl, that he seems to keep his eye on more than anyone. Just a girl just playing with her friends. But I kind of nod at the officer, shuddering a little bit, wondering why, you know, they're here, but try not to disclose that much.
Perfect.
Mm.
All right. So Sister Mary just walks right by this maintenance guy, and she brings you down this hallway past several doors before she knocks gently at a door with a placard on it that says Mother Agnes, and you hear a gruff voice from the other side say, "Enter." She opens the door, but she herself does not step in, but she motions you two in. As you walk into this well-adorned office, this books line the walls. Several high-back chairs are cushioned. This elderly nun, crucifix hanging around her neck, motions you guys forward, and she smiles, but there's no warmth in the smile. "You'll be them, the private investigators that the church would have me hire."
Good day, sister.
"That yet's to be seen, boy." And she motions for you two to sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, and as you
Then
come
what?
in, you see. Oops, sorry. I just wanted
Uh,
to, if I could just describe. Yeah. So as
yeah.
you guys come in, woman, not dressed in a nun's habit, but dressed more in a Margaret B. dressed.
So Margaret is wearing a pretty typical for the period kind of skirt suit with a button-up shirt. She's got a pretty boyish figure and short hair that's easy to keep back and keep clean when she's around all the kids and the medicine. She might be wearing her doctor's coat to further distinguish herself, because occasionally with her young face she does get mistaken for one of the children running around, much to her chagrin.
Yes. So Mother Agnes impatiently says, and she kind of stands up, and you notice she's not a very tall woman. She's probably just shy of 5 feet tall. But you get a sense as she puts her hands on her hips that she's a woman that's not used to having to repeat herself more than once. Kind of not scowls. She kind of frowns at both of you.
I'll take my time sitting down. I'll turn to Margaret, incline my head. "Miss."
Anyways, she sits back down and she kind of looks. Luther, is that correct? You are the investigators that have been hired?
That is correct.
I don't know what you guys can do. These kids clearly have just run away.
Well, I've been hired for a task, and I'm just gonna run through the paces and make sure these are to confirm that there are actual runaways.
Mother Agnes, you know I cannot believe that these children have run away. Olivia was such a dear. She would never have left the home.
Quiet, girl. I'm talking to these men. Excuse, this is, um, she sees to the children's medical health here. I haven't quite learned her place yet. And, how does Margaret react to that?
Margaret just kind of looks down and averts her eyes because she has learned in her uh, almost 2 years here not to cross Mother Agnes.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Mother Agnes is not crossed by many. Like I said, she's like a lax. She's stuck in her ways, and the young tried, but to very little luck. She does kind of soften a bit as she looks at you, maybe thinking she's a bit too harsh with you in front of these two strangers, and she kind of just gives you a very kind of quick smile. That probably does little to take the sting away. But she says, sit down. And she motions you to sit down as well. Margaret has it in her head that these kids were taken, run away.
And
Fancy of you.
and as Sister Margaret said, I look over to the doctor and like, so what made you believe that these children were taken?
Well, it's not so much that I believe they were taken as I believe they haven't run away. I don't know where they could have gone, but well, with the exception of Billy, I can't think of any of the ones that have gone missing who would want to run away. They were all very happy here. Most of them have been here
And what
most
was
of
the
their
deal?
lives.
And what was the deal with Billy?
Oh, well, he was 13 and thought he was grown and was itching to get out of here. It's hard to see the younger kids get adopted for the older ones, but even Billy, I don't think he would have left. He left all his things. Even his favorite pair of sneakers were still here. I can't imagine that these kids left of their own volition.
Well, if you don't mind, Sister, I would like to look at the children's rooms that's disappeared and go through their belongings to see if I see anything that might tie them together or anything that might give a clue of where they might have gone.
Mother Agnes, would that be permissible? Could I show him to the dormitory?
She frowns at you, though you already know what her answer is going to be. She's already gotten word from the church that she is to cooperate with these investigators. Do as you see fit. Be informed. And so just as you guys are finishing your conversation, there's a light knock at the door. And Jack, you come in, asked you to come in and to repair a heater. One of those cast iron heaters in her office. It's not pushing heat. So you walk in, so you kind of catch just the end of their conversation as you kind of knock and then kind of open the door, kind of come almost face to face with these investigators.
And I would kind of respectfully take off kind of the rag that I'm wearing on my head and once again greet them. And then speaking to the mother, okay, I apologize if I'm interrupting, but the next thing on my list was to repair that heater of yours.
Yes. Come in, fix it. You're still here. And she kind of shoos you out of her office, and Jack, she kind of gets up and she says, do with that heater? And she kind of shuffles off to out one of the side doors to maybe one of her private rooms. And so we'll say it's late morning, just to give you guys a scope of time.
This way.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll show them first to the girls' dormitory, because that's where the last child disappeared from, was Olivia.
So the girls' dormitory is on the second floor. So she and yeah, she shows you. So with those are stripped of their, but you see underneath, and it's actually kind of stripped, but it's folded neatly at the foot of the bed, and underneath each empty bed, there's like this foot locker moved up underneath it, and within each of those is the children's belongings.
As you can see, this is where all the girls stay. This bed was Olivia's.
Okay, and I look at Olivia's bed. Do she have like a steamer truck at the foot of her bed, or
Well, it's
where
like a
did they
small
throw
foot
their
locker.
belongings?
It's like a small foot locker or chest. These kids don't really have a lot. So you would kind of pull out this little chest, and it has a couple of change of clothes. And just like Billy's sneakers, you see a couple of well-worn tucked up into this, folded up neatly into this locker. And Margaret would much like Billy, this child would have.
Okay, so I look at the belong. Do I see anything that stands out? Any drawings? Anything out the ordinary?
It like a normal child's belongings. There's nothing that stands out to you as out of the ordinary. A brush, kind of a well-used wooden carved doll. The paint starting to chip from it. Like real comfort like toy that she would have tucked away inside there. And her clothes are really kind of just
So nothing out the
commonplace.
ordinary in general in her belongings.
What age was this particular girl?
This girl was 11.
She was 11.
Yep.
I'm curious because in a place like this, there isn't going to be much privacy. So looking about, is there any kind of anywhere that would assume would be a hiding spot for any personal belongings? Under the mattress, under the pillow, under a floorboard?
I basically wait for the other investigator to see if
Check
he
all those
finds anything.
places. Yes, I guess you would, as Luther is looking through this girl's, you're like checking the physical area around her bed, and yeah, you see nothing that stands out. My understanding of Call of Cthulhu rules is when you kind of like get to a point, you could, and please chime in, Josh, if this is not how you, but you can use your luck to help out with something. Like if you're looking for something like a clue, if you need it, you can roll against your luck, and if you succeed, you can some benefit or some boon from doing that.
Yeah, luck. Spot hidden can be used if you're like looking for little traces of a clue. Also, but
yes. So if either of you have if you have spot hidden, Elias, you could do that.
Yeah, give it a go. What's that? Spot. Ah, my brain's still working. So that's a hard success.
A hard success. So you're looking around and you're actually like, huh, there's nothing here. And at the last minute, you noticed. I, I thought the pre-gens had luck already.
It roll 3d6 and multiply by 5.
Yeah, there you go. If you don't have it on your pre-gen, yeah, just roll 3d6 and multiply by 5, and that's how much luck you'll start the game with. So was it a success checks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hard success, right?
Yep.
So as he's looking through the chest, you notice as you're kind of looking at the floorboards, one of the legs of her bed is off, and as you lift it up, you notice that it's kind of hollow. It's like a hollow steel, and there's a small note tucked up inside it.
Okay, I'll grab that.
Which one of
Okay,
us
you pull
discovered
it
this?
out. Bias that found that. Maybe Luther, you were just kind of looking away from the chest over to Elias, and you guys maybe spot it because you got the success as well. So maybe you spot it just like a second after he does. So he kind of lifts the bed and he kind of pulls this note out from it. And you would guess by looking at the writing, Elias, that it was written by a child. As you read it, it's addressed to Olivia. You don't want to stay here any longer. More to explore in the world. By the old oak. Be free, Billy.
And I look over. So what does it say, Jack?
No, it's Elias.
I mean, Elias.
Apparently, Olivia had a fancy man. This Billy. Something about meeting at the old oak.
So Margaret, as you hear that, you would know exactly the tree that that note refers to.
Yeah, the kids are always playing around an old oak. It's out at the edge of the grounds, if I remember correctly. We could go have a look. But perhaps we should see the boys' dormitory first.
Okay, let's do that then. Not my head.
Right. You guys kind of hear down below on the main floor, you hear kids scrambling around, you hear a bell ringing. It's around lunchtime, so many of the kids are running into the mess hall from whatever activity, whether it's free time or some sort of religious learnings. So you hear that kind of like, and you also hear kids that were up on the floors rushing down the stairs to these to the sound of this dinner bell. And you guys are getting ready to head upstairs, so you kind of get caught in this kind of like little young kids, and a couple of the boys kind of stop and look at you guys, kind of quizzically before they continue running and laughing down the stairs. So let's jump to Jack real quick. So Jack, you're kind of working on this heater. It's kind of nestled just below this double hung window in the mother's office. And as you're working, you kind of like, and it slips, and you slam your knuckles, and you just are like, and you stand up. As you stand up, you look out the window, and off in the distance, you see kind of just standing there.
You broke up. I saw what standing there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see a small child standing out like in the yard, the edge of the woods.
How far away?
Probably a good 100 yards.
I would, hearing the bell and not wanting the child to get in trouble, yell out, the dinner bell just rung. You better go up there before you get your switches from Mother Agnes.
Yeah, you throw open the window and you yell. You kind of lean out and you yell that to her, and she doesn't move. She seems to be staring at the house. Arms just kind of hanging at her sides.
Mm-hmm.
I would think he didn't hear me and yell louder.
Yeah, again, there's like no indication or no reaction to you. You're pretty confident that she would have heard you. It's a nice, it was a cool morning and the air is still crisp. So your voice carries rather well. Either
What
just or
would I recognize this child, or is it too far away, or is she too far away?
she looks like a middle-aged child, like maybe around 10 or 11.
But
You know,
I don't recognize her
what you
from around the orphanage.
you don't. Yeah, she's far enough away that you can't really make out her facial features. But what stands out to you is she's wearing and she's barefoot.
What story am I on of the orphanage? Like what
You're on the
floor?
first floor. You're on the main floor. Yeah, the first floor.
I would. Is it easy enough to climb out the window?
Oh yeah, you could easily drop right out the window.
Yeah, then I'll climb. I'll climb out the window and kind of walk toward her to make sure everything's all right.
So you start to walk toward her, and maybe you're kind of saying to her, "Hey, you know, you need to get inside. Come inside." And you know, it's not really cold, but it's cold enough that to be barefoot and just wearing a nightgown would probably not. And you look at her as you get closer, you see that her skin is really pale, and her dark blue. As you draw, probably within about 30 or 40 feet, you recognize her as the girl Olivia.
Yeah, and seeing her pale skin, I'd probably think that she was sick. So I'd begin to take off maybe the jacket part of my uniform and hurry up and try to give it to her to warm her up and be yelling for Margaret, hoping that we get a doctor.
Okay. Yeah, so you run up to her, and her skin is just ice cold. You know, but beyond that, you get no reaction from her. She still continues to be looking at the home. I mean, she's not like rigid. Like as you wrap your jacket around her, you can move her, and her eyes blink, but she doesn't say anything to you.
I would pick her up and try to run her back to the orphanage.
Easy task for you. She's not a heavy girl, so you pick her up and start running, and you're probably yelling at the same time. So we'll go back to making your way up these stairs. You hear the children kind of like you hear you hear a loud voice yelling for silence as they're eating, and as you do so, you hear the front door to the house and you hear a man voice yelling from there.
You still on me? All right, good. I would. I imagine that my knuckles are still kind of badly cut and bleeding from hitting them on the air conditioner. So, with my own hand in bad condition, I would begin yelling for Margaret, or at least try to find some type of nun. It's Olivia. She's sick. And run to wherever the medical area would have been, hoping that Margaret is there.
Yeah, so you start running back towards the infirmary. You're met
Mhm.
by Samuel Potter, who's one of the orderlies that help Margaret in the infirmary, and you're also met by Sister Catherine, who is a nurse that assists her. And they look at you and they look at your hand, and there's a second of your hand, and they see the pale girl. Sister Catherine's like, "Is that Olivia? Did you find her?" And she kind of just motions you quickly in to an open bed.
Yeah, and I'd run and lay her down and step out of the way so that the nurses or infirmary aides can.
Okay. So Sister Catherine sends Samuel off to find Margaret. She immediately, maybe you take a step back as she just kind of starts looking over Olivia. She just looks very concerned as she does so. What are the rest of you doing?
Who is that to?
Any of you guys, as you guys are kind of making your way up to the third floor of this. So it would be quiet enough that you probably would have heard the front door, the door burst open, and maybe the hurried and forced voice of a man. Maybe you're far enough away that what he's actually saying is probably not clear to you. Maybe you might hear the word Margaret.
If I hear my name, I'm gonna start heading back downstairs and say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, but the boys' dormitory is just down the hall and to the left. You can't miss it. Looks just like the girls."
Okay. So you take your leave, and you're actually met by who's halfway up the stairs, and he says, "It's Olivia. She's back.
I break into
Sister Catherine is tending to her."
I break into a run, and I get down, and I'm pulling out my bag, and I get my stethoscope out, and I'm feeling how cold she is. And I mean, can I tell what's wrong with her other than exposure, I guess?
Yeah. So you feel her skin, and is very cold. Her breathing is very shallow. Describing earlier, her eye, she blinks, but she just kind of blankly is staring up at the ceiling, not giving any sense that she's even aware of what you and Sister Catherine are doing. As you kind of cover her in blankets. Injury that you can see.
Cover in blankets. I ask for hot pads and a bucket of warm water to maybe put her feet in, and try and warm her up, and passing my finger in front of her eyes, kind of snapping in her ear, seeing if I get any reaction from her.
Yeah. So when you snap your fingers by her ears, her eyes, or in front of her eyes, they blink. But beyond that, she doesn't turn towards you. She doesn't say anything. Samuel says, he's just kind of standing over you guys with his arms kind of crossed. And he's like, "Found her." And he kind of just uses his head he swings it towards Jack, who's just kind of standing. But and you would notice too that as he's standing there, he's got a little bit of blood that's just dripping down on his left hand.
Mr. Abbott, tell me everything that happened. Where did you find her?
Yeah. I would just be wiping this blood on my already soiled, probably the shirt since I gave away my jacket. And I would say she was out on the edge of the forest. I saw her from outside the window and thought she had heard the bell. But when I got to her, she was like this. How long would she have been missing up to this point?
Yeah, good question. Actually, she's been missing for 3 days.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it's fall, almost winter, I think you said.
Yeah, it's the 22nd of September. So there's still some fairly warm days, but the nights are definitely cold, and mornings it can be chilly.
Yeah, and I'd make sure to point out that he didn't have any shoes on, and um, then kind of remembering just how kind of creepily he was just staring at the orphanage.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. So you tell her that. That's good.
Well, I can't find anything wrong with her, but something's not right.
It seems like everything is wrong with her.
So yeah, as you put the blankets on her and bring some warm compresses, and you kind of sit her up and put her feet in water. It does bring some color back to her skin, but you notice that you would expect as a medical professional. Her skin is still cold. Her lips are, even though they've lost the deep blue hue, are still blue. Think of a kid when they've been swimming in water for a while, like early season or late season, and they've been in the water for a while. That's what her lips look like.
I send Catherine out to fetch some hot tea, maybe some more milk, something to get in the girl's stomach, and as she's just sitting there kind of catatonic, I turn my attention to Jack's hand and say, let me see your hand. You've injured yourself.
It's nothing. No. It was on the heater I was repairing. I've had much worse. The child needs all the help. I'll be fine.
Well, at least let me wrap it up and stop the bleeding.
And I'll reluctantly give her my hand.
So Sister Catherine smiles warmly at you, Margaret, and she nods and excuses herself to go get some warm milk for this child to drink. And we now pan up to the you guys are in the boys' dormitory. You guys, while this has been happening on the main floor, have been kind of, you easily find the beds. There's 4 missing boys. One of them, is named Billy, but you find them because of the beds that are stripped. You search through them. If you want to give me each a spot hidden.
It's just a normal success for me that time. Because most about have the same idea. Yeah, I presume Elias would have the same idea as much as Olivia's bunk.
Yeah. So the first thing you guys do is you check the legs of these bunks, and you find nothing. But tucked into one of the mattresses, kind of folded this very narrow slit, you pull out a letter or a note, and it's to the one you read to Olivia, signed Claire, and it's written to a boy named. And it says the same thing. Them to meet at the Old Oak. And so, Josh, what sort of if someone were to look at someone's handwriting or something and try to determine it, what would that be? What sort of a check would that be in this game?
That's a tough one.
Maybe language English?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there is a art of like handwriting, but yeah.
This would be like maybe a lay person. This would not be like I'm not thinking that Elias or Luther are handwriting experts, but enough to look at that, just to, I'm and I don't want to speak for you either, Elias or Lucia. Would you look at these notes to see if they're written a similarity or not? And it is a D100 your check.
Yeah, I think we're holding them up and comparing them to look at the handwriting.
They're definitely both written in what you would guess is a child's hand. The Claire's note to Timmy, it does appear like it's much neater.
What about the paper it was written on? Is it similar or same style paper?
Yeah, that's a pretty. You look in the paper; it's the same paper. You would guess it was pulled from the same stack sheet, or wait, a ream, right? Paper is counted in ream.
Pass.
You got a success?
No, just on that question.
Oh, yeah. How about you, Luther? So you see Elias has found another of these notes, and you like him. You see that it seems to be written on the same paper, though the hand seems to be neater. So as you guys are looking at this note, you hear the patter of that's a small feet, and two young boys, probably 7 or 8, come running in, stop when they see you standing there. He's bed. You looking for Timmy? One of the boys says. He's got this kind of this runny nose, and he still has some some of whatever he was eating downstairs on his shirt.
Yeah, looking for Timmy and the rest of
And
the
he's
boys.
talking to you, Elias and Luther.
So yeah, we're looking for Timmy and the rest of these boys, motioning to the beds, the empty beds.
Yeah, the other boy next to him says, they're gone. They're gone. Yeah. Didn't say anything. Just left.
You saw them leave?
I heard it. I heard it, though. And the other boy kind of looks at him and says, shh, don't say that. And the smaller of the two just kind of immediately. Oh, well, we're not supposed to talk about it. I have to change my shirt. And he kind of runs to a bed and he starts rummaging through a small locker that he pulls out from underneath it. Every once in a while, he'll nervously look at the two of you standing over by Timmy's bed, and his friend is just kind of standing nearby.
I'm going to pull out my notepad and a pencil. I'm going to hand it to the boy that's still standing. I'll say, I want you to write down everything you can remember from any of the nights these boys went missing. Any little sound, any little smell, anything.
And he kind of looks. He looks at kind of dumbly. He's like doing that. probably end up missing too.
That's why we're here, to make sure no one else goes missing.
And he kind of looks past you at Luther, and he says, "But are you going to keep me safe?"
I caught the last 10 seconds of that comment.
Yeah, he just said, "Ain't nobody going to keep me safe." He's telling you guys nothing. And he kind of looks down at you, looks down at the little boy, says, "Peter, come on, get your shirt."
All right.
Peter kind of gets up and he has this new shirt on. He just kind of looks at you, Elias, and sorry, mister. And the two of them kind of just scurry out of this dormitory room, and you hear them running back down the hall.
Then I will just stay out of distance, but see where they go.
Them run down the stairs, and you see them both kind of look over their shoulders back at you guys. And when they catch that you're looking, Luther, they just put heads back and they just kind of run down the stairs, out of sight.
Okay.
Damn kids these days.
You got that right. That's the reason why I don't have any.
So going back to Jack and turns with a warm cup of milk, and so as you kind of feed this milk, she has no reaction, but she swallows it, trying to give it to her. It doesn't like dribble down her chin or anything. There's no need to any way with spoon or anything. She's able to actually drink it from the cup. She doesn't hold it, but as you kind of bring it up to her lips and pour it, you see that she swallows it.
I kind of stroke her hair with the other hand and say, "Olivia, where have you been? Can you hear me?"
Say that she blinks.
I'll look over at Jack and say, "Mr. Abbott, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's wrong with her."
I would look. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but it might be something with her mind. Did they teach you any of that psychic stuff in school?
I have a rudimentary understanding of psychology, but I'm no expert.
Yeah, and I would just shrug and say, well, at least she's safe with us now. Feel free to come and get me if I can do anything else to help. And then I'd like go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Jack, just as you're finishing saying that, Margaret, you turn back to Olivia, and as he says that she's safe, you see Olivia's eyes blink again. And then, go, Jack. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Then I'd like to make my way back to the office to finish the repair.
Yeah. As you walk into the office, Jack, you're greeted by Mother Agnes, arms folded under her rather large bosom, and she is just tapping her foot, and she's looking at you. And her office is very cool. The window is now shut, and she says, "Do now." I come into my office and find that window wide open.
I would just smile and say, Olivia, they found her. You should go to the infirmary and see how she's doing. I'm sorry about your office. I will have your heater repaired before you get back.
Perfect. Yeah. Upon hearing that, it's lumpy. Like she totally forgets that she's angry at you when you mentioned that Olivia's been found. She says, and she doesn't even wait for you to answer as she kind of bustles past you her office towards the infirmary.
Yeah, I'm
Fix her.
I'm relieved. I rolled pretty well earlier on electric repair, a success.
Yeah.
So I think I'd find out that just like the overheating, just a simple little bit resoldering fixes it. However, after seeing what I saw, could I just do a spot hidden to see if I see anything on her desk that maybe she knows something that she hasn't told?
Yes, certainly you can.
All right. And then that is a normal success.
Yep. So you kind of quickly shuffle through the papers, and it's one of those things where you keep looking back up to the door. Maybe because you're not a thief by nature, and what you come across is a series of tucked underneath some other rather mundane writings, just the dealings of the house. You see a correspondence that she had received from the church. And as you kind of go through them, you mean obviously you're only reading half of the conversation. It seems to be in response to letters that she has written them. And in those letters, they just chastise her for not taking more severe steps to prevent kids from disappearing or running away. So that's the only thing that you would find on her desk or in and around her desk.
Yeah, I can't read that well, but if it was written simply enough for me to get the gist, then if I think that it is something important enough to hold on to, then I would devise a scheme to keep it. But
so maybe you see two letters that not quite certain, but it seems like they may be more important than the others, and you kind of roll those up and tuck them into your
I'll throw them in the bottom of my toolbox, and then finish screwing the heater back, and then close and lock her door like she likes it.
Yes. So the two PIs up on the second floor. So you finish your investigation up there, and you don't get anything other than that note. And as you guys are making your way back down to the main floor, you hear you wouldn't know it's Sister Catherine. You see a middle-aged nun speaking with the younger nun, Sister Mary. In the foyer at the base of the stairs, and you catch that they're talking about that the new maintenance man Jack has found them.
I'm like, okay, so let's see what the child has to say.
Yeah, so as Mary and Sister Catherine see you coming down the stairs, Mary greets you both and introduces you to Sister Catherine and lets you know that she works with the doctor in taking care of the kids. So Sister Catherine and Mary accompany you to the infirmary, and you find Sister Agnes and I know kind of a burly, like maybe 5'6", but fairly stocky, bald head, arms crossed, and he's just wearing a plain white trousers and white shirt. Child just laying on this bed with Sister Margaret.
I would examine the child, see if I see anything unusual, see if he got any dirt underneath his nails, stuff like that there, blood, stuff of that nature.
Yep. So, Margaret, would you have cleaned her up, like her feet, and because her feet were filthy, obviously walking barefoot in the outdoors. Her hands herself, yeah, underneath her nails. Would you have cleaned any of that up, or would you have left it? Um,
No, she at least her feet certainly would have been cleaned up. Um,
yeah.
I imagine the rest of her's probably just wrapped in blankets, trying to get her warm and keep her warm.
Okay. Yeah. Um, so that's yeah. So her feet are clean, Luther. But as you kind of look at her hands, they're not filthy, but you do see that underneath her nails, yeah, some sort of foreign matter like dirt or something.
I will say, I will clean underneath her nails, get the byproduct what's underneath her nails, and see if I can see if I see anything recognizable. It's like, is there blood? Is there a combination of? Is it just plain dirt? Things of that nature.
Seems to be a dirt. As you kind of like scrape it out, what are you scraping it onto or into?
Probably like a small brown envelope because I know plastic is not around in 1924.
Yeah, so you have this little paper like envelope, and you kind of scrape it. See, it looks like a fine dirt. It's kind of like either a dirt or a clay, or maybe a combination of the two. It's like really, you kind of if you rub some through your fingers, you can. It almost feels like silky and fine.
Margaret sees you doing this and says, "Her feet were covered with that stuff too. Of course, it's all in the water now, but I don't know
Do
where she's."
I look back and like, do you know where any type of this dirt would be most common at around here?
I've never seen it on the grounds.
And I
Right?
look over
Yeah,
at
you would
Jack.
know that it would be further.
I look over at Alice um and see if he got anything that he might think it might be.
There's one person who possibly might know. That's the guy that found her, Jack. He's probably walked about the grounds.
Let
Catherine,
us
could
go.
you please fetch Mr. Abbott for us?
Certainly, Margaret. And she kind of whisks past um, Sister Mary out of the infirmary looking for Jack. She finds you in short order, Jack, and she approaches you, and she's just kind of like a little bit flustered and winded. Meet you in the infirmary. Something to do with Olivia.
And well, I would quickly just follow her to the infirmary, almost at kind of a running pace, hoping nothing had gone wrong.
Yeah. So the other kids in the, you would just see the other kids in the home just going about. You can hear kids playing out in the yard, the infirmary. Um, or you, Margaret, when the girl was taken and you guys were warming her, does she still have her nightshirt on? Would you have left that on her, or was it something that you guys would have removed?
I've probably left her pretty much as we found her until she's warm enough for me to kind of undress her and put her in something clean at this point.
Okay. So yeah, she doesn't seem to get any warmer than you have her now. And Elias and Luther, what you notice as they're kind of changing out some of these warm these compresses that they've been wrapping around her with blankets, you see that the hem of this girl's nightgown is stained with a similar appearing dirt.
Did someone say something? 'Cause it just went dead silent.
Yeah, no, it is dead silent. I don't know. That was my prompt for it. Do you guys want to say anything? If not, then I will continue to go. Um, so Jack is brought in by Sister Catherine. That Mother Agnes takes her leave right around the same time that you're entering the infirmary, Jack.
I would let her know that her heater should be fixed.
Like she pats your hand and says, "God bless you, boy," and thank you for finding Olivia. And she kind of waddles down the hallway back towards her office.
And I'd make my way to the bedside with Margaret and Jay. I heard that there was some help I could provide.
Yes, I believe the investigators wanted to ask you a few questions about where you found Olivia. And if I'd noticed that Olivia is not warming up any, I'll say a few words to Catherine to fetch like a flannel nightgown, and I'll pull a curtain away from the men, and Catherine and I will take off her dirty night dress and put her in a kind of clean flannel nightgown and try and get her warmer.
Right. Yeah, so Catherine rushes off to get the flannel. So Sister Mary steps forward and says that she'll help you. So Luther and Elias, you show this dirt to Jack, and Jack, it's similar dirt that you found in and around that windowsill.
And yeah, when I take the dirt, I'd kind of laugh, saying, "Well, with it being summer, since I've been hired, they've only had me around the house, so I don't go haven't done any work in keeping up the outside. But once I see the dirt, okay, well, I haven't found it anywhere outside, but there was something that looked like this on the window sill a couple of days ago."
Okay, do you have any ideas where it might have originated from, or?
Okay, well, I found Olivia out near the edge of the property. Perhaps if it was on her, it must have been just past the boundaries where we normally allow the children to go.
So, at this point, I asked Jack, "You lead me to where that is," and proceed to head out.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there and jump over to Margaret. So Margaret, you're stripping this girl from her the soiled nightshirt, and I am going to need you to make is it called a sanity check?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Yep.
You need to make a sanity check. So we'll Mary.
That's a 100, right?
Yep.
Yeah, D100. You want to get equal to or less than your sanity.
Okay, I rolled a 30. I'm pretty sure I'm good. I don't think my sanity is marked.
It's
Okay, so that's 3. Is it 3d6?
I think so. It should be one of your characteristics at the
Okay.
top. It's equal to your POW.
Okay, yeah, there it is. So 65. I'm under.
Actually 65. So that's a
Hard.
success. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So so you're going to take 1 sanity point. Mm-hmm. That's what they're called, sanity point. So yeah, you take 1 sanity point, and you just gasp and you step back from this girl. Elias, Luther, and Jack, you just hear this pan over and fall, and you hear this gasp on the other side of this curtain, where Margaret was changing the girl Olivia. And Margaret, what's caused you to see that is as you strip off this girl's, you just see words starting to etch across her back. Help. and you see and it's almost like scratches, and blood starts to run down from the scratches.
And they just formed as I'm watching, or were they already there?
Yeah, as you strip it off, you just see them form, like someone's writing right in front of you.
Say, my God. I don't know. I probably don't say anything else. I just say, my God, and like start grabbing for bandages, and say, Mary, pull it together, get bandages. And you guys can hear all
see
this.
Mary, and just like she's literally just like her hands are at her fit. I mean, she's young. She's probably in her maybe early 20s, and she's just holding her, and you gotta like literally have to shake her. Right, Josh. They might forgive her in this sense. Is that she just to reality, and she just kind of like dumbfounded away and wrappings for you, and she just can't take her eyes off of it as she's like handing these wrappings to you. Yeah, for you, at least, and one off our Father. So what is it you guys are doing? You hear this? I mean, this is.
I run over and see what the hell is going on.
Yeah, you guys
cool.
can certainly
Awesome.
pull back the curtain because it's not like a door that's locked or anything.
So as you look, you see this child is kind of from her waist up as she's on the edge of this bed, and you just see on her back a bloody make, and it looks like it's either scratched or cut into her back.
Margaret's face has gone pale, and she's trying to press cotton over it and stop the bleeding. And she looks at the men and goes, "It just appeared. It was like somebody was riding on her, but there was nobody here. I've never seen anything like it. She didn't even flinch."
There must be a reasonable explanation for this. And I look over to Alice and I'm like, "What?
I guess,
Luther,
what you would think. Yeah, I guess, Luther, what your reasonable explanation would be. You would think that it was that either Margaret or Sister Mary or the two of them must have cut this into this girl's back.
And I'm like,
I mean,
yeah,
unless it was there before.
I'm like, it had been there before. Someone cut it into her.
If Luther's looking for a reasonable explanation for this, I mean, that's all his rational mind, I think, would tell him. These two women together must have done this to this girl.
So yeah, I immediately think that there's been some form of child abuse, and then due to the scornful nature of the Mother Superior, I guess you would refer to her, I would think that she would be the culprit.
Do you say out loud that there's been like child abuse?
Yep.
Margaret walks up and slaps you across the face and says, "How dare you? Every person in this facility loves these children and cares for them. How dare you suggest that we would harm them?"
I didn't suggest that you harmed anyone. I'm thinking it's more or less the Mother Superior, the one that seems like she has a great distaste for children and people in general. I've seen how she treated you.
Don't let Mother Agnes's hard exterior fool you. That woman will be a saint one day.
Then you give me an explanation to how this child's been mutilated in this fashion.
You hear Sister Mary. She's like, I saw it myself, and she makes the sign, and she says, "It was an honor before. Off her nightgown. It's as if someone rode across her back." This young nun's face is pale.
So
And
you're
Elias
telling me
and
that
Jack.
this happens?
No, I've never seen it before. This is and you see that she's kind of holding her crucifix in her hand, and she's just kind of rolling the beads through her fingers as she's talking to you. Maybe not even aware that she's doing it. Um, it's not natural. And as you look at Olivia, you can see that out of the corner of her eye, that there's like one tear has kind of run down her cheek.
Margaret turns her back on Luther and continues addressing the claw marks, the wounds in Olivia's back.
So you have a medicine skill, right? As a doctor, give me a medicine check as you're kind of tending this wound.
And pull him over to the corner and ask him, what does he think of what they just said?
I failed.
Push the roll. Push the roll.
Yeah, you can push it. Now, if you fail again, it'll be a more dire consequence for you. But if you succeed, then you'll succeed.
If you come up with an excuse of like how you do it differently this time, you can re-roll.
Yeah.
But if you fail, you're gonna kill the kid.
So what is it I'm
So you're
trying
looking
to do?
So you're okay, let me give you some basis. So you're looking at this wound and something isn't quite right. So you're looking at it more closely and check, but what might you do different? So there's still that nagging feeling like something isn't.
I maybe pull a light closer and get the tweezers out and see if there's anything inside the wound and investigate it a little closer. There we go. That is a critical success.
Oh, nice. Look at this wound, and you bring the light a little bit closer.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's just
as
a
you
hard
look,
success.
oh, that's still well enough. So as you bring this light closer, you see that the what looked like scratches into this girl's. You were on the outside of the skin and scratched across it. It's like as if it was from the inside.
Oh, sick.
It scratched outward. Like you almost like maybe boil a little bit from that as that realization strikes you. Like
You see Margaret kind of put her hand over her mouth and say, look at these wounds. It's like it's been done from the inside of her skin. I don't know any instrument, any tool that could make a mark like that.
Should I make a roll to see if I
yeah, what I should say. So you guys have your character sheets. I don't have your individual character sheets in front of me. If you have a skill at any time that we're playing out this one shot that you think is at play, please, by all means, speak up. I'm new in running this. Several don't have a lot of experience in playing Call of Cthulhu. So yeah, we got Josh here. He's our resident expert, so he can chime in as we need him.
Yeah, if you don't even know what skill it is, but just want to do something, then we can come up with what skill it would be under. That's how I normally lead it.
I want to. I don't have medicine, but I want to concur or look for myself to determine if I see the same thing. That if it looks like it was done from the inside.
Do you have first aid?
Now remind me. Yeah.
First aid. Let me see.
If it's something really
Yeah, I
noticeable,
got first aid.
first aid will cover if it's something like noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah, and how old are you, Luther? You're an older gentleman, right?
Yeah, I say in my 40s.
Yeah, so
I got
you
61 out of 30 on my roll.
oh, you rolled a 61?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fail. If your first aid is a third, your first aid skill's a 30.
hmm
Yeah, so you look and you don't see what Margaret's talking about. It just looks like cuts or scratches to you.
I go back. I'm sorry. I don't see it. But maybe it's due to the fact of how bloody the wounds are.
Elias, if you have if either of you, the other two, have first aid, you're more than welcome to make a check as well.
Yeah.
And when she pulls the light in close,
I have it, but I trust the doctor.
when she's
So-
saying it looks like the cuts from the inside out, you trust her. Okay, perfect.
I don't, but I still can't see what she's talking about.
All right. To the wound, Margaret, and you bandage it up. What is it y'all are going to do now? So the child, as you bandage the wound and you get the new the flannel her, she's not catatonic or rigid. I mean, she's definitely catatonic, but she's not rigid. But she almost relaxes more. Relief sigh from her. Down in the bed. You're not certain, Margaret, but it does look like more color has come to her cheeks, and more of the blue has left her lips. She's still staring upward.
We must let her rest. Perhaps she can answer questions later, or even in the morning. But we don't know where she's been for 3 days.
Well, since you are absolutely sure there's just no child abuse has occurred,
I can assure you, in my time here, I have seen nothing but caring and firm discipline, not abuse.
but you do know I had a
Can I just so, Margaret, what would you consider abuse? What would Margaret consider abuse?
Like cutting a child with a knife.
From the
Yeah. It is definitely firm discipline here by the nuns. I mean, they switch the kids when they're misbehaved. They'll not feed children. They'll give them bread, like dry bread and water.
Yeah, it's the 1920s and they're nuns, so that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that Margaret wasn't ahead of her time and seeing that stuff as not okay. Yeah, so it's pretty. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, there's no locking children in a closet for 3 days kind of thing, but there's send them to bed without supper kind of stuff.
With all of this talk about abuse and pointing fingers, I think Jack would try to change the subject and offer to show these investigators where he found the girl.
Perfect. Yeah.
I think that is our next step.
Would you mind if I accompanied you? In case there are other children.
I was going to suggest it, Doctor, for that very reason.
Catherine, please look after Olivia.
And she smiles again at you. Yeah, she's definitely been glad since you replaced the last doctor that was here, a grizzled old man.
And I pat Mary on the hand and tell her to go get herself a cup of tea because she's still looking pretty pale.
Yeah, she looks very peaked, and she kind of smiles weakly at you. She says, "That's a rare, Margaret." And and she kind of looks again nervously down at the child and kind of follows you guys out of the infirmary. So just leaving Sister Catherine and Samuel to kind of tend to Olivia's needs. All right, so you guys head out. So you bring them out to the point where you found her, and it's right at the cusp of where the woods meet the mowed and manicured lawn of the home, and you can actually even still see where she was standing. The grass is all matted down.
Is it by one of the big trees? Is it by like the old oak tree?
You would know would be a little bit further into the wood. Some of the older kids like to sneak out there to do things that older kids do. The more lenient nuns will allow them to do that, but the stricter ones do not. It's just this great old oak tree in the center of this kind of clearing.
Like, as we're walking down, I'm like, I do apologize for the implication of trying to suggest that you abuse children. That's the most logical ideal.
Apology accepted, sir. I understand that you are just doing your job and trying to find out what's going wrong here, and I appreciate you exploring all options. I apologize for my violence.
Completely acceptable.
Yeah. So, looking around, you guys make your way to the large oak. Do you lead them?
Yeah, seeing where he was standing left such a big impression. I would see if we can find any footprints or tracks. And I'd look myself, but my track is horrible. Yeah, so.
So you kind of looking around. You see Jack looking around, trying to maybe find some more evidence of where this child may have come from to the the spot in which he found her. Does anyone else assist Jack in trying to track where she came? Elias or Luther?
I'm really not the outdoorsy type.
Margaret's not either, but she's going to try it anyways.
Yeah, track is 10% unless you put points into it. So maybe he'll be a nice keeper and let us use spot hidden.
That's a fail for me.
Right. I'll let you guys as a group, test your luck. Who's got the lowest luck?
I'm at 35.
I have
35?
50. Oh,
50.
Did you say 35 checks?
Correct.
golly.
Yeah, I think you might have the lowest.
Just like real life?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do I calculate luck?
You roll
It's
three,
six times.
3d6 times 5. I've had 15 luck before.
Oh. Ouch.
So I got 5, 6, 7, 8
Times
times
5.
5. That would be 40.
So it's a 40. All right, Chex. Looks like you're the man. Give us a luck roll.
That's a fail.
Okay. Yeah, you guys look around and you can't really see anything. She's a rather small girl, so the ground is fairly dry, so you can't find any evidence of where. You guys, both Margaret and Jack, you would know that the Great Oak is roughly in this direction. It's not a direct route.
I do not know about the Great Oak yet, because I was in the office when they found it.
You've been here for a couple of weeks, so I'm thinking that
But he doesn't know about the note.
Yeah, I don't know about note.
That's right. Oh, okay, that's right.
True, I probably would have mentioned it in the walk over.
Oh, well, perhaps we can find something at the Great Oak that you mentioned earlier.
You know where that is. We gotta love the retcon. Yeah, so you guys, you make your way there to the Great Oak, and it's this huge, vast oak tree, probably one of the largest oak trees you guys have ever seen, especially you city. You see, you're surprised. You see this same kind of reddish brown clay, powdery clay mixed in with dirt around this tree. Yeah, and on closer examination, you can see impressions of several different sized bare feet.
Margaret looks up in the tree.
Yeah, so you see this. The leaves are just now starting to turn. They're changing color. So you look up into these great branches of this oak, and you see branches, leaves. Hands out to you.
How wide is the circumference of this tree trunk?
Phew, man, it's been a while. So circumference is around, right? All the way around.
You just gave me like the radius or diameter across.
So if you guys all kind of like held hands, you guys could. It's not quite. Maybe like you could probably reach around and encircle the tree, holding hand to hand. So it's a pretty good sized tree. Maybe probably about 8.
And how tall is it?
No, not 8. It would probably be closer to maybe about 5 to 6 foot across. It's probably it's.
Is there anything that stands out that would make this tree special? Besides it being
it's the
slightly
largest. Bigger? Yeah, it's the oldest tree around this clearing.
Are the footprints facing the tree or facing away from the tree?
It's almost like they have like milled around it. There's no pattern to it. It's coming up towards the tree. There's footprints walking alongside the tree, and there's footprints walking away from the tree.
Is there anything carved?
Another thing that you. Oops. What did you say, Chex?
Sorry, like, I was just going to say, is there anything carved into the bark? The kind of notes that we found, at least one of them looked a bit like a love note. And if this is a meeting place, you would imagine that there would be, Olivia loves Billy carved onto the tree somewhere.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden check. Yeah, anyone that's doing any sort of investigation could give me a check as well.
Okay. Investigation.
Would this be spot hidden for most of us?
Yes. Yep.
So close.
I have a normal success, but Elias knocked out of the park.
Perfect.
I also got a success.
Yeah.
I got a 52, and my base is 55.
Cool. So the first thing that you notice, Jack, is that this large oak tree and this big clearing that surrounds it, you see not a one time of year it would have been dropping any acorns that would have been in it. The ground itself is with the exception of small patches of grass, it's mostly covered in this dirt. You see that as well, Luther. But you, Elias, as you're kind of looking more closely at this dirt, as you look at the base of this tree, you find this small metal like box. Think of like a bread box from the 1920s. It's not fully, it's like buried by a root of this tree, but you kind of catch a little edge of it uncovered.
I'll take my penknife and I'll kind of dig around it, try and loosen it and get it free.
You easily get it loose and pull it free. Yeah, it's a small. It literally is a small bread box, metal tin bread box.
Does it appear to be locked or?
No, it doesn't have them. It would just hold it would mundanely hold a loaf of bread, but this one's kind of battered a little bit, and it's obviously covered in the earth that you just pulled it from.
Oh, it is literally a bread box. All right, okay. I thought maybe just size-wise you were. It's literally a bread box.
It literally is a bread box. So you're kind of you see Elias pull this bread box out from.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it up and see if anything's inside it.
Yeah, open it up and give me a sanity check as you do so.
Whoa.
Let's try that again. Hard success.
Perfect. Yeah, you look in there and you just see it's just a bunch of severed fingers, child fingers. And I'm gonna look at it for a second, but I mean, you were on the beat for a long time. You've seen some pretty grisly sights, so it doesn't faze you.
Yeah, I'm still going to put the box
You just
down on the ground.
maybe the rest of you, what you see is you kind of. So what would everyone else see, Elias, as you kind of pop open this bread box tin and you see by rough count somewhere near a dozen severed fingers, child fingers.
It would just look like Elias was just going about business as usual. Probably takes him about 5 seconds to kind of realise what it is he's just looking at here. And he'll just kind of move his head away. I mean, he was a beat cop. He's seen some stuff. It stays with you. He's just going to move the bread bin aside and put it on the floor.
Do you leave it open or do you close it back?
No, I left it open. So, yeah.
You want reaction from all of us?
Anybody that's going to go over and look down into that bread tin.
I definitely go look at the bread box. And I'm like pretty much shocked, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to have to call the authorities on this. This is way above our pay scale.
What did you get? What did you get, Luther? Did you make your sanity roll?
I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
That's 69.
And Jack.
Do you have to roll above or below your sanity?
Below.
Below.
I failed mine.
Yeah. Your close connection with these children, it really strikes home to you. So
Margaret actually lets out a little scream when she looks at it.
Yeah. So roll a d3, and that's how many sanity points you're going to take.
And I failed mine as well because I think my sanity is supposed to be 65.
So 3.
And I got 69.
So yeah, you're really shaken. Literally, you just describe this really impacts you as you see these fingers.
So I stumble back and basically almost fall on the ground.
Yeah, perfect. And give me a D6 roll, Luther.
3.
You got 3, so you take 2 sanity points.
Did Olivia have all her fingers?
She did. Really probably as you kind of start to get your wits about you a little bit. I mean, you're just kind of like hyperventilating for several seconds. Maybe Jack, you made yours.
Yeah, I've made mine. I've seen people get their fingers cut off in the rail yard. However, seeing the small still kind of got to me, but I succeeded.
Good. Yeah, so everyone that succeeded, you take no sanity. And he's just like, I just checked out. And the same thing kind of just staggers back. And given his I don't know, worried about child safety, this has really shaken him as he sees these multitude of mini little fingers in there.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So what is everyone doing now? So seeing this bread tin with these fingers in them.
I report back to the mother superior and like we need to get the authorities involved. We're
You want
looking
to go
at
back to the
definitely.
house?
Yeah, I'm like, there's definitely been a homicide that's occurred.
I don't think you can die by just having your fingers cut off.
No, but this looks like someone who's collecting trophies. And God knows what else we'll find out here.
So what are the rest of you going to do? I mean, Luther looks like he's ready to head back to the house.
I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm gonna dig round about the area where this bread bin was, just to see if there's anything else.
And Jack and Margaret, what are you guys doing?
What time is it?
It's probably mid to late afternoon.
I don't know. I think Jack would remark
Yes.
that.
To answer your question, Josh, yes.
All right. I think
So if you
go ahead. You can go and say what you're going to say first. I was going to say what I was going to do.
Yeah, I rule is if you take 10 sanity points in a session or 5 sanity points at one time, you'll have a temporary effect.
All right.
Standing to Josh.
Yeah, there's a couple different optional rules. 10 in a day are, I guess, if 5 or more can be one. I don't remember that rule. But, yeah, I was just checking. I'm good right now.
Okay.
Jack would remark, well, if Olivia was alive, maybe these children are alive too. And I'm not sure if we can wait for law enforcement to begin the search. They might be in danger now.
Margaret, if you'd like, you can, after you've kind of gotten back to yourself, you could actually use your medical knowledge to look at these severed fingers if you chose to. The medical expert in the group of investigators to try to determine decay.
Margaret will kind of steel herself because she needs to know if the children were still alive when their fingers were cut off, and if she can determine perhaps, I mean, even if she could recognize any of the hands, there's a particular kid who always bit his nails, and just it's very gruesome, but she's gonna take a couple deep breaths, wish she didn't live with nuns and could have a cigarette, and go through the box very carefully. Okay, and what am I rolling this against? Biology or medicine or?
Yeah, well, you can choose either of them.
Okay, I'll definitely do medicine then, because my medicine skill is a 75, so that's a
So it's just a standard
success. Yeah.
success. Yeah. So yeah, you're not able to distinguish any a finger might belong to, but you can tell that there's varying stages of decay of these fingers. You see some and being in the bread box probably helped to for a time, but you're thinking that this is dating back to maybe the first start when the kids first started disappearing, and it appears to be a ring finger from these kids. Yes, that's what it is, Joss.
And how many fingers are there?
They're 10.
Okay, so
How
Olivia
many?
would have been 11, right?
Yes, Olivia was the 11th child. But you guys are sitting there and you're watching these fingers in a macabre sort of. It's a rather macabre scene. This light kind of drizzle starts to fall down around you, working its way along the leaves and dripping down to the this tree. Do
Gentlemen, as it is raining, perhaps we should return to the house and inform Mother Agnes of our discovery. I would also like to check on Olivia and see if she's in any state to speak.
And have I already head out before them, or am I already in Agnes' room?
you can tell me? Did you take off? Did you not wait for them? Did you just left Luther?
I start heading back because I knew I had at least one investigator already there, so I was going to inform, in my opinion, Mother Superior of what was going on.
Perfect. Yeah. So you would have gotten to back to the home, and are in Mother Agnes's. She told you to come in to her office, and around the same time that Margaret is kind of determining the state of decay of these fingers, and so you let her know that, and she immediately shakes her head no and saying, "This is ludicrous. The children ran away."
I hate to inform you, there's several fingers, possibly, if they are still alive, they've definitely been severely harmed, and my recommendation is that you call in the authorities now.
We are paying you good money to get to the bottom of this. You seem to be overreacting.
There are severed fingers in a box buried. You have a child in the infirmary currently with some form of mutilation on her back, and you're saying I'm overreacting.
Cocks your eyebrow. Mutilation. I saw the girl. She was fine.
Follow me, and I take her to the infirmary.
Cool. Yeah. Perfect. You take her into the infirmary, and you see, as you come in, Samuel, who's sitting on a stool, kind of stands up from that, and he kind of just nods to you, to Mother Agnes. And Olivia is the only child in the infirmary right now. You just see her just laying in her catatonic state on the bed. Distance, you see Sister Catherine folding some linens.
No, and I
Nods to you
Lady
too.
Catherine, I say, I said, can you show her the scars?
Oh, so you asked that of Sister Catherine?
Yeah.
Good checks making jokes here. So Sister Catherine kind of sits the girl up, and she kind of like wraps these injuries on her back. You can see the blood has soaked into the gauze bandages, and to your surprise, as she's off, there's nothing on her back.
And
So
I'm like, everyone in this room saw her back. She was scarred.
Agnes, and Sister Catherine says, I wasn't in the room. But you can see there's blood definitely on the cloth of the bandages. And Mother says, I don't know what sick game this is, wrapping this child in soiled bandages, claiming she has an injury she doesn't.
No, she had an injury. Margaret will verify that. I know for a fact she had injuries because she showed me.
Yeah, right. You can roll a persuade.
Okay.
Yeah, persuasion, intimidate, fast talk, and charm are the 4 interpersonal skills.
Okay. So fast talk is 35. So I guess intimidate is 50. So
You're gonna try to intimidate.
Oh God!
Now is that an opposed? Is that an opposed, Josh?
I don't think I'm going to intimidate her, but I don't know what else would fit because the highest score I have is 50. That will be successful.
I don't typically do opposed. If somebody is already like not liking you, you can make it harder to get a success.
Yeah.
And
so Luther is going to approach this with Mother Agnes, and I'll either give you straight up roll your roll, or you'll have a disadvantage to your roll. So how do you want to approach this with her? I'm assuming you don't want to try to intimidate her.
I will try to do fast talk.
Okay.
I guess it's the most the less brutal of the two, which is a 35.
Okay.
I rolled a 17.
Perfect. Yeah. So, describe for me how you, because I'll react based on how you fast talk her. You don't have to like role play it out, but just give me the general gist of how you fast talk her to at least get her convinced.
I go through all the details. I go through the fact that there's children missing. We got one child is catatonic. We got severed fingers out in the field that we're bringing in. This is beyond what is necessary. We need to get out search dogs and everything else to try to locate these children. And the more you procrastinate, the more likely these children will wind up dying. And that's going to be on your watch, not mine.
Yeah. You just hammer her with all these facts that she can't deny. I mean, she looks down and sees this kid catatonic just staring at the ceiling of the infirmary, and you just buffet her with these, and she just kind of like gives ground to you, and she says, right, and she says, Sister Catherine, quickly, get Sister Mary. We must get word. So, what are the rest of you doing?
I think that after a while, I would give the note that I stole from the office to Luther. Just knowing that he's interested in like how the children have been punished in the past.
Oh, so was this something you would have given to him sooner?
No, I would have waited. But now that, yeah.
Okay. So you guys return. With this bread tin back to the home. To Mother Agnes.
Yeah, we'd take the bread tin back.
Okay, good. Yeah. So
Walking
yes.
steadily, I don't want it to rattle every time I walk.
So yeah, you guys return back to the home, and there's more of a steady rain just as you're getting in. So you're a bit damp, but no worse for wear. And I wonder do folks want to take a quick little break?
Sure.
Yeah, I could take a
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Let's be back in like 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right.
Are we all back, or are we? I don't think Juve is back.
Yeah. I really wanted to play hooker, but it's going to be too hard for me to join the band and get everything in the storyline and keep it serious. Call of Cthulhu.
And please explain how the hooker is at the nun-run orphanage.
Her
What?
child got taken away.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking like TJ Hooker, the cop.
Oh no,
Actual hooker.
hooker is one of the occupations in the investigator handbook.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that'd be would fit
So
story
this is
wise.
I don't. Unfortunately, I only have the main 6th edition rule book, at least in hardcover.
Oh, I don't either. I'm totally running this off with the 7th edition quick start guide.
I
It's
have
literally
the,
just enough for you to get going. But you really need, yeah.
I have the investigator
so-
handbook and keeper handbook in front of me right now. So
Perfect. And that's why he's our rules guru. So we're gonna get started again. So Agnes sends Marion, one of the orderlies, into town to get the constabulary to bring them out. Like I said, there's a pretty steady rain falling about the time you're getting back. It's getting dark out. You know, the children are settling down for their evening meal. You guys are at now starting to feel rather famished, so Mother Agnes invites you all to dine in her private dining room, which is off of her office. So you're not going to be bothered by the children. Cool. And so you guys are eating, and is there anything particularly talking about?
I'm just discuss. I discuss like this. This is. I discuss the fact that the scars are gone.
Yeah.
That you might want to mention that.
I'm
I
assuming
showed the
it's
mother
someone
superior.
who said something.
I show the mother superior the wounds. The wounds are gone, like they never happened.
Yeah. So Margaret, I guess before you guys would have your dinner, I'm sure Luther would say that to you, and you would see that. Sister Catherine would show you. She would lift up the girl's flannel shirt, nightshirt, and show you that her back is unblemished.
is the girl still as catatonic as ever?
She does appear to be. You know, her breathing is much. She has more warmth to her skin. She has blueness in her lips, but she still kind of just stares straight ahead. You guys would notice as you're talking when you met, and you've noticed this more, Margaret, when you say certain things, like when Jack said, keeping her she's safe now, she blinked. When you said things that would seem to be direct, you would see her blink. Now she's blinking other times too, but this, to you, it seems more like it's a conscious blink, not a.
I bend down close to her and I say, Olivia, if you can hear me, blink twice in a row, one right after the other.
You see her blink once, and then she blinks again.
I look at the others around me. I say, all right, gents, yes or no questions only. Olivia, did you leave the house on your own? Twice for yes, once for no.
She blinks once.
Did you leave with Billy?
She blinks once.
Did you see the others who were missing while you were gone? Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, sorry. She blinks twice.
Did somebody hurt you?
She blinks and then twice. As you're doing this, Margaret, like everybody else, I just see them kind of like moving in closer, like, holy crap, what?
Yeah, can I get a sense of how she's like doing? I've got psychology as one of my skills.
Mhm.
Like, is she terrified out of her mind? Is she in her right mind at all?
Right. I'm going to give you a bonus die only because of the experiences that Margaret has had in the last few hours. Seeing the writing come across this girl's back and the children's severed fingers. So how a bonus die works is you roll 3D D10 normal, and then roll another D10, but it's a 10 die, and you take the low for a bonus.
Okay, run that by me again.
All right, so make a normal D100 roll.
Okay.
One, and treat that D10 roll as like a tens roll, like 10, 20, 30, and you take the lower of the two.
Basically, roll a 10 place die at advantage.
Okay. It's not gonna matter because I rolled under it on the first try.
You might crit.
Yeah, but you could have a hard
Okay.
critical.
Oh.
You rolled a 15.
Yeah, and my number was 40, so that's a hard success.
All right, good. Yeah. So you would suspect that she's experienced something very similar to yours, but so much so that it's kind of broken her mind a bit, that it's prevented her from being able to speak. Like she's maybe hearing you like almost like a distance. You know, like when you're in, you think of like a time when you're in like that semi-sleep state where you're like drifting off to sleep, but you still hear what's going on around you, but you're not really able to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the closest analogy that Margaret would have, like a medical analogy, like someone going under anesthesia.
Does she seem like she's still frightened?
Yeah. So because she's not able to move or do anything, kind of answer, do this blinking.
Olivia, did you know the person who hurt you?
Do you know? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she does the blink once, and there's that pause, and then she blinks another time.
Was it someone here at the house?
She again does the slow blinks twice.
Margaret looks at Luther and says, That's a yes. I was wrong. It's someone here.
Well, do this. Go through everybody that you know here and ask her. Hurt her. Start with the Mother Superior and work yourself down.
Yeah.
Jack is going to leave the room.
Okay, cool.
Do I notice that he leaves the room?
Jack, are you trying to do it with some sort of... Are you just...
I mean, I'm not necessarily sneaking off, but with so much going on between, questioning this girl and everything else, I think, like, they probably notice I'm gone, but not necessarily notice when I left. If that makes sense.
That's fine. That works.
And
So yeah, Luther, you would notice that. So you kind of maybe as you stand up from bending down to talk with Margaret, and you kind of stand up and you kind of scan the room. You kind of do one of these things where you notice that Jack is no longer with you. It's just Sister Catherine, the orderly Samuel, Elias, Margaret, and the girl. Mother Agnes too is with you.
then I'm like, if he leaves the room as soon as I say the whole ask her thing, I'm like, as soon as he leaves the room, I'm like, okay, odd. Ask, and I ask, might say this, Agnes, if ask her to ask the girl, did Jack hurt her? Says he did leave the room, and he does work for the school.
Oh, so you want Margaret to ask Olivia if Jack hurt her?
Yeah, due to the fact how quickly he left the room.
Right. So
Yeah,
Margaret,
so
would you do that? Would you ask Jack first?
Yeah, I would. I'd say
She blinks once. No.
Okay.
Right. So what would the next name you say?
I'd probably start at the top and say,
Okay.
was it Mother Agnes? And,
So you
and
say
just kind
Mother.
of run down.
You say Mother Agnes' name, and her head her head just snaps up and looks at you, and she shoots daggers at you. She says, "Jesus Christ, you can't think that I would do something like this." And Olivia blinks once. You can hear Mother Agnes as she just harumphs that you would even think.
My apologies,
Just at
Mother.
the insult of her.
Was it me? Did I hurt you? I kind of look
And
over at
she
the
blinked.
mother. Like, everybody's a suspect.
Nice. Yeah, and she blinks once. And as you notice that she blinks this time, you see like a tear running down her eye. I mean, down her cheek from her eye, from her right eye.
I kind of brush it away and I squeeze her hand a little. Say it's all
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it feels warm. It feels warm in your hand. What's the next name you say?
Who is Mother Agnes's right hand? And does she have one?
So, probably the closest would be Sister Catherine in the infirmary.
I kind of shoot an apologetic look at Sister Catherine and say, was it Sister Catherine?
Right. Yeah. So she blinks again one more time, and you notice that both of her eyes now you see that tears run out both sides of her eyes, and now you actually see blood.
Oh shit.
There's blood now coming out of her eyes.
She's
Yeah.
crying blood tears.
Do we need to roll a sanity check?
Who's Matt Brown?
Luther, you just invited a sanity check for yourself. The fact that you asked, yeah, roll a sanity
That's
check
fine with me.
as you see this. Matt Brown is one of the orderlies.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
memory, Josh.
that's impressive.
Yeah, I almost got 100%.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So yeah, you take one sanity, and you kind of just see these blood tears running down this girl's, something you've never seen before.
I say, was it one of the sisters?
And once, and then she just screams, and you see blood kind of runs down out of her eyes. Back, just she screams and goes all rigid.
I pull the pillow out from behind her and lay her flat, and get my stethoscope out and listen to her heartbeat, and ask for like a cold compress, and trying to wipe the blood off from her eyes. And can I tell what's happening?
She seems to be having some sort of seizure.
I don't know what all kinds of sedatives I would have. I definitely have something like chloroform, but I would give her some sort of sedative.
Yeah, so considering this is 1924, I imagine that you would have these guys hold this child down so she's not going to hurt herself if she starts to actually spasm, which probably a modern day medical thing to do. Yeah. Jack comes in with the big crank thing and the two things to attach to her with the shock. Yeah, no. So you wipe the blood away, and you, with your stethoscope, you can hear that she does have a faint heartbeat, but her breathing is again shallow like it was before.
Checks. I would look at the people around me and say, we can't ask her any more questions. At least not tonight. I don't know what it's doing to her.
When you say that, her breathing almost levels off.
Margaret
Sorry,
starts to look over at her.
I'm sorry, I cut somebody off. I didn't catch who it was.
You're fine. This always happens. You can't really tell when someone starts or ends, so yeah, it's no big. I pull her outside, and I'm butchering her name. No, I am. Maggie, and tell her, I think that if we continue to ask her questions, even tomorrow, that she might die from it. There's something going on with her, because the closer we get to who it might be, the more physical pain that winds up being exerted.
I agree. I don't have an explanation for it, but I'm worried that it will kill her. And it is my sworn duty to protect her, to save her. I can't keep questioning her if it's going to hurt her. We're going to have to figure this out on our own.
Should we have her, or do you think we should send her to the local hospital?
Not on the wet roads. Tonight, she'll stay here. I'll sleep here in the infirmary with her. I'll have one of the orderlies here as well. I just don't know. Don't remind me. The note that you found. Who was it from?
Can you refresh me, Mr. GM, on the context of the note?
Yes, it was from Billy, the troubled kid, a 13-year-old.
Okay. It was from Billy. He goes by here.
Kids will have
and
their
then-
secrets. But I wonder if perhaps we could ask if any of the others have received such notes.
Yeah, I think we should start there. I mean, I hate to say, but Billy might have wind up being deranged or something.
Anything is possible at this point.
All right. So you make your plans, Catherine, to bed down in the infirmary with Olivia. Sister Catherine encourages you to get something to eat, not having seen you eat. And she also mentions that maybe the rest of you should as well. And she says that she'll sit with Samuel with her until you return.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Samuel.
Smiles and she
immediately.
She pats your hand. Yeah. She goes, I will. So you guys and Sister Agnes kind of shoos everybody else out of the room to give Olivia a chance to rest. So you guys reconvene in this dining hall for Mother Agnes with you and have it there as well. About midway through your meal when you hear a blood-curdling scream and a crash, and it comes vaguely from the infirmary.
I imagine we all bolt.
Yeah, we can't hear any kind of screaming or crash coming from.
Evening. So all the kids are already in bed. So you guys bolt down the towards the end. And Mother Agnes is further behind her, being heavy set and elderly. She's a bit slower. So who do you think? Who's the that comes? This, I guess, is really what I'm asking.
Did you say who's fastest?
Yeah, who would be the first one to get through the doors in the infirmary?
I mean, Elias is a pretty fit guy.
Yeah. So it would be Elias. So Elias, you burst through the infirmary door, and you're not ready for what you see. You see beds overturned. You just see Sister Catherine and Samuel, their bodies broken, their necks turned and off in an unnatural angle. And one of the windows in the infirmary is just exploded inward, and there's glass shards everywhere, and Olivia is nowhere to be seen.
Exploded inward?
It's exploded inward. I need everyone run into the room to make a sanity check.
I swear to God, we'll have no sanity when this is over.
I
failed.
would not have been with them immediately, but I'll probably catch you up within a couple.
Actually, you know what you sent me for that message, Jack? That's actually what you're doing. You're you're coming down when you hear that loud scream and the explosion. Or not explosion, but the crashing.
So we roll a d6 to find out how much we lose?
No, well, you got to make the roll.
I'd failed.
Oh, okay. No, it's a D3.
I did pass mine. I got 56.
All right. So you don't take any sanity.
Just another day on the job.
Well, yeah. So poor Margaret's getting a trial by fire here. So yeah, Margaret, as you come into this room, you see that same scene, and Luther as well. Rain is blowing in through this shattered out window. And Jack, you hear it as well. And kind of puffs up behind you, the last of you, and you just hear her say, "God save us!" And she does a quick, makes a quick sign of the cross as she sees poor Catherine and Samuel. What are you guys going to do?
I say we pack. Is there a school bus at this place or no?
No.
Margaret will run to the window and look out.
Yeah, you run to the window, and as you look out into the night, you see moving quickly across the grass towards the trees. Even and the wind blowing, you think that you hear a scream for help.
Margaret will call the window, Olivia! And crunching on broken glass, not even bothering to grab a coat. She's going to just start climbing through the window and say, she's out there, we've got to go get her.
I'm like, I agree. Let's see if we can get her. And I dash out the room trying to go get her.
All right. Yeah, I want to give everybody an opportunity. So you're at the window, Margaret. Luther, you're getting ready to run out of the room. And Elias, what are you doing? And I'd also like Jack to choose in the other part of the house.
Elias is desperate to get outside, but he's kind of caught because someone's going out the window and someone's going out the door, so he's manages to get out first so he can follow them because all exits are blocked.
All right, cool. Yeah, so just as you're doing that, you hear this, and you see these busting out of Samuel's mouth, and they just spread out across the floor. All of you.
What are they?
They look like cockroaches.
Oh.
Beetle.
Oh.
Each of their mouths towards you guys.
So that's another sanity check, right?
Yes.
Has Margaret left the window yet? Because Elias is about to push her.
Margaret's got 1 foot up.
She's at the window getting ready to jump out.
Dang, I failed
again.
again.
Am I seeing this as well, or am I out the room?
No, you're right about where Mother Agnes is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 1 for you, Margaret. So yeah, you're actually, so that you hear the noise, you turn around and look, and I would guess that Samuel, the orderly, is closest to you. So you just see these insects erupt up out of his dead mouth, start crawling and swarming across the floor toward you and Mother. And then you see the other ones. There's another group.
I rolled a 46 on my insanity check. I for some unknown reason, I'm cool. In real life, roaches erupting out of people, I'm so gone. I'm like, screw all of you.
You're sort of cool, but you still take 1 sanity even for making the save.
I'm fine with that because I would have bolted. I'm like, yeah, screw
I would have too.
I don't care how much money they pay me. I have no connection to this play. I'm halfway to the end of my car, and I'm like, you know what? They're not crazy
No, sir. You took a cab. No, sir. You took a cab out here.
I'm about, a cab. Oh, that's like, this is a bad horror flick. Oh my god. Of course, there's no car.
Did you not know we're playing Call of Cthulhu?
By the
All
way,
right, so-
the party is currently split. In case you're wondering about horror movies.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
but
I think
I feel like the person split is the safest right now.
It's probably true.
Jack read the script. Jack read the script ahead of time, and he's like, "I'm gonna kind of step out of this room right about now." Yeah. So, Elias, what was the result of your roll?
Oh, I failed.
Okay.
So I lost.
So roll a d6.
Yeah, I lost. It was a 1 I got on the dice.
Okay, so that's 1 sanity point for you too. All right, cool. Yeah, you're able to, even through like the cold fear, Margaret, to grab your medical bag. It's more route than actual cognitive lucid action, and you grab it. And what do you guys do?
Margaret failed her sanity check, and so she's like doing a Superman dive through this window.
Hits the wet, damp, muddy earth. To fall. Is everybody's dex above 25?
Yep.
Hang on.
Okay, yeah, because that's how initiative works in Call of Cthulhu. It's based off your dex.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys can all act before these two roach arms. You do, Luther. Oh, if you're talking,
Yeah, 50.
you're muted.
I got a 55 on.
Yeah. So you can definitely act before these insects.
How big are the roaches?
They're normal sized.
Stomp the living hell out of them.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you start stomping them. Perfect. So just give me what is that? It's a fight skill.
It'll be fighting brawl.
Fighting brawl is at 60%. 56.
And it'll be contested against the beetle's response.
Yeah, there's just so many of these beetles that they don't actually dodge or anything. You just crush some under your foot. What the condition would be is how many get like crawl up onto your as you try to stomp them. 48.
If you're doing a brawl contested roll, the attacker wins. So
You just stomp the loving hell out of and as you're stomping them, it's like you think that they have to stop coming out of this guy's mouth, but you're stomping them but they're still kind of crawling out of Samuel. But you see as it does so is like its midsection almost seems to like sag, like they've eaten him out from the inside. And you're certain that if they get up onto you, that your fate will be very similar. So you're stomping at them. You hear Mother Agnes just, kind of just writing and not being helpful and doing anything to help you. What are you doing, Elias?
Elias grabs the I don't know what they're called, the stand where the IV bags are on. And he's using that to kind of pummel at these roaches while screaming.
Something similar to, you could do something similar to that. Yeah.
So was it just an unarmed brawl?
Yeah. Oh, and can you give me a damage roll?
Yes, I can. Let's see here.
What would that? Would that be a D? That would be a D4.
I think it'd be a D3 for unarmed.
Yeah. Okay.
If he's
D3.
stomping.
Okay, how do I roll a D3 in this?
D6. One.
Yeah, divide by 2.
Yeah.
That would be 2 points of damage then.
And do you have
4?
a bonus to your damage because of, is it strength that gives you a plus to your damage?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at that.
Yeah.
That's 1D3 plus DB.
Yeah.
What's your damage bonus? What's your size and strength?
Strength is 65, size is 65.
That would be... Yeah, you get to roll additional D4.
That would be 2, so that would be 4 total.
Yeah. You, like I said, you stomp a good group, the good better part of what the first wave of these insects, but some more come out. Thankfully, see that they stop. They kind of trickle out of Samuel's mouth now. Did you make your attack roll?
Yes, it did not go well.
Oh no!
No. In true Chekhov fashion,
Alright.
I failed.
Okay, you failed, right? So they are going to attack you. So he can dodge, right?
Are these beetles retaliating Elijah's attack? All right.
And Luther.
If this is the same group that Luther attacked, then the beetles roll with a penalty die. If it's a new group, then these roll straight.
Yeah, it's a new group.
All right,
Yeah,
then no, they just hit.
So you're going to take 1 point of damage, Elias, as these beetles start to crawl up your legs, and you feel them starting to bite through your pant, and some of them get up underneath and are walking up along your legs and biting into them. So the one against disadvantage die.
Now
Correct.
both of them would, if they are attacked. If you attack by multiple people the same turn, then the next time you try to dodge or counterattack, get a penalty die.
Okay, yeah. So Luther, you're able to stomp and keep them at bay, swat off the ones that get onto your pants or around your shoes. And what's your dex, Elias?
Dex is 70.
Wow.
The window is open and clear.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's blown open. Or, Margaret getting up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run towards the window and jump out.
You're very near it. You kind of land next to Margaret. You see bugs just kind of scatter from you as you kind of hit the wet ground, and they just kind of spread up onto the wall where you were at, and then they start coming back down, and they start heading to Luther and Mother Agnes. And Jack, I'm going to want to know what you're up to after.
I still wouldn't be aware of like swarms of insects attacking. I probably heard the glass breaking and figured like the storm just like had a tree fall. So I kind of rolled my eyes thinking I'm going to have to repair that. So I'd lock everything important to me inside my little bedding area. And I would grab my toolbox and tarp or whatever I think I might need to repair a window. Could I roll a luck roll, just hypothetically seeing what else you might need to grab, thinking, hey, I might need some insect repellent in case bugs get in the open window?
Right. Oh, yeah, perfect.
So,
Yeah, go for it.
all right.
What kind of bug spray is there in the 20s?
I will research it. I don't know, but I find it.
Yeah,
And then,
it's probably as deadly as for some reason you don't know why, but as you're walking out, you look down of this spray that they use to clean out the furnace, and for some reason you grab it with you. It's highly flammable.
I get
Pollution.
dimethyl phthalate. That would be what was used in 1920.
Right. That's right, Jack. You just kick over a couple of random bottles of chemicals and you invent bug spray.
That was like a hard success luck roll, so why not?
Nice. That's yeah, perfect.
And then I'd begin kind of like begrudgingly making my way up the stairs, not wanting to fix this.
Yeah, you're thinking like some tree has fallen and like a branch has fallen through a window or something, and kids are just overreacting.
Yeah, even the screams would be, they could just come from people freaking out that a window broke. So,
and most of the yelling from the other investigators is kind of whipped away with the rain and the wind that's blowing outside. Margaret, what do you do? So you hit this ground, not totally. So you land fairly well. You're kind of like, maybe brushing some mud. All of a sudden, Elias lands next to you. The bug's off behind you in the infirmary.
He lands on me?
No, Margaret.
Okay, Margaret.
And you and Mother Agnes are still dealing with the bugs that are inside.
So there's a bug on me?
Just a few bugs that were like on Elias's pants, and as he kind of jumps down out of the window, you see a few of them scatter, and he stomps on a couple of those stragglers. But yeah, there's no bugs on you.
Okay.
What is Margaret would do? So he kind of lands next to you. You scared him away. So are you going to do? Are you doing? I guess that's probably a better question.
Margaret would probably throw a terrified glance over her shoulder at the bugs and yell at Sister Agnes to run, or Mother Agnes to run, and then turn her attention back to the little flannel nightgowned figure disappearing into the darkness, and pick herself up off the ground and tear off after the girl.
Yeah, so Elias, what you see is Margaret kind of brushed quickly a little bit of mud that have on her knees from where she hit the ground, and as she starts running across the compound, the yard, towards what you can see in the distance is a small, like, shadowy figure running through the rain towards the woods after her.
Well, let me guess. I have no weapon other than my bare fist, correct?
What weapons did you bring with you?
Well, according to the pre-gen.
Oh yeah, but you could. I posted something in the event. You could grab whatever kind of mundane gear or any kind of gear that you would want.
As an investigator, I think the only thing I will bring with me is light. Potentially.
Yeah. So you're a private investigator, so I would assume that you would have some sort of firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a blackjack or something. So if somebody got out of hand, you could kind of club them with it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably have a flashlight in some fashion, pencil. Would probably be something you would have.
I would say that I would have a flashlight, possibly a small blackjack, and that would be it.
Yeah, as long as it's reasonable, you can assume that your guy has it.
Okay.
Tommy guns.
Yeah, I was gonna say flamethrower, hand grenade. So yeah, back to you, Luther. So this swarm, you're beating down this swarm, and it's coming up after you, and it's your go.
I basically
roll.
bail. If there's a herd of roaches and it's only my foot, I'm not naturally I'm gonna bail.
Yeah, because you do see the other group starting to roll in, and joining this other one, so it's getting larger again. Do you grab Mother Agnes as you kind of bail from this room?
Oh yeah, I grab Mother Agnes. I'm like, follow me. We need to get the hell out of here.
Doesn't move very well, so you just unceremoniously just kind of yank her through this doorway, slam the door, and you can start to see some bugs. You can hear, and you can see some of the bugs starting to crawl up underneath the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine that you would just kind of quickly stuff something down there.
Yeah, I would. I would stuff papers, towels, and then get my hands on.
Right. Cool. Oh, okay. And that's about the time, Jack. So you see Mother Agnes just standing there as you kind of strolling up the hallway, and you got your toolbox, a tarp, and this concoction that you threw together for some reason. You're not really sure, and you're just wadding down at the base of the infirmary door, and he's got this, like, he pulled his jacket off and he's kind of jammed it down. And I'll leave him to describe like how his reaction that he's having.
Is there anything else in the room that I could stuff underneath there?
You used your jacket and you kind of just balled it and slammed it down, and that seems to have stopped the bugs, and the few that got through you crushed.
I look at the Mother Superior and I'm like, what in the hell is going on in this place? What you got me into?
Mother Agnes is just like, I don't know. And she just says that over and over again. I don't know. She kind of looks at you, Jack.
Yeah, I would see that he's stuffing stuff on the dirt. Like, the flooding can't be that bad already. And I just walk toward and open the door.
Yeah. Luther, to your horror, Jack pushes past you, and he opens the door. And as you do so, Jack, you just see the floor is just by the door is just like rolling with these insects.
Are they all coming in at once?
Yeah, once he swings the door open, it presses them away, but then they just start closing back in, and they're moving right towards the doorway and Jack.
I yank Jack back in the room and like, are you insane? And slam the door shut and stomp on the rest of them.
I'd say that almost like as soon as I saw these bugs, I would definitely be freaking out, wondering how have so many already flown into the window during the storm, and then kind of reaching for my little mason jar of citronella oil and arsenic and my nice pest cocktail. I think just almost out of fear, I just drop it on the ground, shattering it, and sending this repellent just all over like the bottom of the door and the insects.
Yeah, it falls and it breaks, and yeah, it covers the door. And what few insects that Luther hasn't stomped yet, they immediately, if it lands on them, it just kills them instantly. And the other ones, you just see them skittering away from it. But it also gets all over your jacket that was laying by the doorway. But you don't hear them or anymore. And some of it is kind of seeped up underneath the door.
Yeah, I would kind of fight with Luther, saying, I need to fix that window before more bugs get in.
Is the bugs on the other side of the door that I just closed?
Me, if they were.
Yeah, I asked him like where he wants to go fix the window. Is that on the other side of the door that I just closed to keep the bugs
It's
out?
it's in the infirmary. It's where you guys were originally. You guys are
I
now
look
in
at
the
him like,
hallway.
you want to go in that room full of God knows what to fix a window that you think might prevent more bugs coming in.
That's my job. I have to fix the window before the whole place gets flooded. This
I think we're past that now. I think we need to stay in this room. I think we need to call for help and then or just get the hell out of this building and just leave.
Luther, do you tell them where the bugs came from?
Oh yeah,
You get a sense that yeah.
I tell them they literally
tells you-
erupted out of people's bodies. There's like heads twisted off. It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some things.
I would look at him seriously and then like not even believing his story. I just like crack a smile and laugh. And I go, and then I'd ask, well, where is the doctor and your partner?
At this moment in time, they were in the room. I had to rush out. I presume they're left in went to another adjacent room.
Luther, you probably would have seen them jump out the window. You were kind of facing that way as you were stomping the bugs that were coming towards you. So you would have probably looked up and seen Margaret and then Elias jump out of the window.
Then I said, and then I think I heard a window crash, and then I remember now. They jumped out the window to get away from the rest of the bugs. So they're outside. We need to get outside, and that's how it is. Not need to fix anything. You're just going to make the situation 20 times worse.
I would look at the mother.
And she just looks. This is probably the first. I mean, you've only known her for a few weeks, but you've never seen her speechless, and she is literally struck dumb. She just kind of looks at Luther and at you, and she says, "They're dead, dead."
And seeing this, I would know that something is completely wrong, and I just kind of pick up my toolbox and run down the stairs to go outside and try and find the others.
Then I was like, we need to get out of here. It looked like he might know a way, and then I followed behind him.
Yeah, perfect. So you would see the same thing. You're coming down the front steps, and you look out across, and the rain is starting to lessen now, and it's more of a drizzle. And you can see the two forms of Elias and Margaret as they're just getting to the tree line, 100 or so yards away from you. They seem to be in pursuit of something.
Okay.
I'd just be sprinting after them.
So yeah, it's a pretty mundane to catch up to them, because once they hit the tree line, it slows them down. And I would imagine as you get close enough for earshot, you could just flag them. So you guys reconnect, and you're probably about 50 feet into the woods. You just hear the dripping of water The cloud covers, so it's fairly dark out. It's evening, probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. So you guys are all together. You
Margaret
kind of
was
see that
trying
form.
to. Yeah, Margaret was trying to
Nice.
follow Olivia, who is in like a white nightgown and should be somewhat visible.
Yeah. Yeah, you look off and you can see. Yeah, it looks like almost ghostly. Probably maybe about 40, 50 feet away, darting in between the trees.
I point her out to the others. There! She's just up there.
Yeah, you see that you all see that she's heading back towards the large oak. Continues to go along the path she's chosen.
And I'm like, okay, I'll pull my gun out at this point and start heading towards the big oak.
Yeah, perfect. So you're chasing up after this little girl, and as you do, you come up across as you're following this path towards the tree. You let me see. I'm gonna roll a d4. You're running through the woods.
I like doing the person with the lowest luck. And I'm not just saying that because I have good luck.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Who has the lowest luck? Is it you, Elias?
It is, yes.
So you guys are. That's actually a good rule. I like it. So as you're running along, Elias, you trip over like an exposed tree root or a rock, down pretty hard. Mud and wet hit your face. So what do you guys? Are you guys using anything for light source? Flashlights or anything?
I will use whatever light, a flashlight. I'll use a flashlight.
Okay, yeah. So you have a flashlight. Do you have a flashlight, Elias?
I do not. Don't have a flashlight, don't have a lighter or nothing.
Okay. So as Elias hits the dirt, you flash your flashlight over there, Luther, and what you see is he hasn't tripped over a root. There's actually a body laying in the ground, on the ground, and you notice it immediately. It's the body of the orderly, the one that had left with Sister Mary, and you see that he's been just kind of gutted. His entrails are just spread out across the
Gee.
and he's got this look of horror on his face. His dead eyes stare. Elias, as you pushing yourself up, you look over as as Luther flashes the flashlight onto him.
Yeah, you probably see Elias do a straight from prone position to jump in midair.
Yeah, right on, man. Perfect. Yeah. So you look as you kind of see that, but as you snap your head back, you can just you see the little girl kind of disappear out from your sight.
Margaret has not stopped because she was ahead of Elias, and
Perfect.
she is still following Olivia, and that's probably going to get her killed.
Yeah. So you're probably about 15 or 20 feet ahead of everybody else. As Jack, are you Luther slowed, or are you keeping up with Margaret?
If Luther has a light, then I'm probably staying with him.
Okay.
Unless there's enough light for me to be able to follow.
So yeah. So you look as you swing the light back, Luther, as your partner gets up to his feet, kind of shakes off you're starting to get old hat at these. So you see Margaret up ahead, And Margaret, as you're kind of running ahead after this girl, so what is there perception in this game? Would be like to hear something, or
there's listen and spot hidden. Those spot hidden is for sight, listen is for sound.
Yeah, give me a listen, Margaret, as you're kind of chasing after Olivia.
Oh, that's a 0. Oh yeah,
Perfect.
that's a extreme success because I had 35 on my.
Yeah. So as you separate from the gentleman and you're chasing after Olivia, you hear it first. You hear this. It's but not music like with instruments. It's singing, language or something you've never heard before. But it sounds beautiful, and it just carries through the night. And as it kind of hits you, it almost seems to warm your skin, and the dampness of the forest around you just kind of falls away. You almost get this euphoric feel as you're chasing after this child.
Does it make me stop, or do I just feel it and keep running?
Nope, you just feel it. Whatever Margaret's going to do. I mean, obviously, as you keep moving forward, Margaret, it would become clearer and a little bit louder. But that listen check, so sensitive ears.
Am I gaining on her at all?
Forward, yeah, you would definitely be gaining on her. She's definitely either tiring or losing speed. Yeah, you think that probably in the next couple of seconds, if you keep pressing, you could probably catch her. She's probably only about 20 feet ahead of you. You guys start running again after Margaret. I just need you guys to make a listen check as you run forward.
Success.
Perfect. So you would have that. You, Elias, would have that same sensation that this makes a success. You get that sensation, and a failure just means that it's a little bit further before you actually hear it. But at time you catch up with Margaret, or where Margaret all can hear it, and all feel that sensation.
Yeah, I failed it horribly. I have a 94.
Yeah, you got like water in your ears, Luther, and you're not much in the way of running, so you get this pounding. Your blood is pounding in them, so you just feel that you do feel that kind of that warm tingle across your skin, but you don't actually hear this singing until till either Jack or Elias pointed out to you. So Margaret, you can almost reach out and touch Olivia now. You just see her kind of darting in between like smaller trees as she's making her through this wood. Yes, it's both two cockroaches, one in each ear, and they're planting eggs in there. Luther's ears. So what do you do, Margaret? You're literally within 5-6 feet of her.
I would like to
just staying.
Yeah, if I could get up and get my arms kind of around her, underneath her arms, just grab her around her middle, and just make her stop, kind of almost sit down and pull her backwards.
So of an agility check, right, Josh? Dane, because it's kind of weird, so there would be some sort of check that you would need to make.
There used to be a grapple check. It's turned into a battle maneuver, which is brawl technically.
Yeah.
If he's just
so do you have fighting brawler? Fighting brawler?
I do. I do.
Yep.
Why don't I have brawl?
Well, everybody has a little bit of everything. But
Well, because you're a female doctor in the 1920s, I think you get to learn to hold your own.
Yeah, no, that did not go well.
Yeah. So you kind of lunge out at this girl, and at the last second, like this sapling that she had just walked around comes back and slaps you in the face. It makes you stagger back a little bit. But it. Do you want to yell or say anything? So you guys coming up behind Margaret see this happen, and you see her get kind of staggered by this slap.
I say, Olivia, stop! And I've got a cut kind of across the cheekbone from the sapling, and I just keep going. Try and catch her again.
Okay.
can I finally
What are the
see
rest of you
Olivia's
doing?
point? Can I finally
You go.
see? All right.
Yes.
I'm probably, or at least me and Elijah, are probably a little bit quicker than the other two, and so I think soon enough we'd be able to overtake the doctor and get a little bit closer to Olivia. I don't know if he'd want to chase. That's what I would do.
Okay. Within range that you could try to grapple her as well.
Is she running away, like by her own volition?
It appears that way. She appears to be running.
I don't want to tackle her, but I don't know a nicer way to get her to stop. I'm just gonna kind of run and hope that I'm strong enough just to kind of like pick her up and sweep her off her feet.
Yeah. Well, you remember from before when you picked her up, she was fairly light.
Right. I just thought tackling her was the best way to handle a 11-year-old girl. Do you want me to roll brawl also?
Yes.
Oh, dang it. I rolled it on roll 20, not in real life. That is a hard success.
Nice.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So you just kind of grab at her and you just kind of pull her, as scoop her right up off of her feet. And you feel her kind of like thrash against you, like she's trying to get free. And she just starts it's like this keening squeal she starts doing as you do so. What are you doing?
I think I would just kind of swept her up and turned around and like carried her back to the others in spite of her kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So that's what you see. You see him just kind of scoop this girl up, Olivia up, and like I said, as he brings her back, she's kind of like squirming and kicking, and you hear this. It's not just a squeal; it's like a keening, almost like a screech. It's like doesn't sound human.
I missed that. Can you do it again?
She goes, and it's I don't want to do it too loud because I have a kid sleeping.
That's my new ringtone.
Yep. Shrieking.
So what are you guys doing? It doesn't stop. It's just going.
I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna help Jack hold her down. I'm gonna turn to Margaret and say, "Have you got that damn chloroform?"
Margaret's gonna first say, Luther, give me the light, and see if I can like look at her face and check her pupil dilation. And is she responding at all? Does she seem like she's in any way in her right mind?
You might regret flashing the flashlight on her face because as you do,
geez.
it's this out of body. I mean, this out of world visage is looking at you. Young face is distorted. Her eyes are jet black. Blood covers her mouth, and you can see now on her hands as you bring the light that her hands are just caked with blood, and she's just keening, and you can feel like she's right, you Jack, and you feeling a strength in her that not what you would expect from a 11-year-old girl.
I
And, yeah. We would all need to make insanity checks.
Damn. Oh my god, I finally passed one.
Good job.
Extreme.
You get extreme success.
So do I go
what
with
happened?
what my original was or what my new?
No. You roll off of your.
Yeah,
Get
whatever
a job
your
until the end, right?
whatever your POW is should be what you judge your sanity by, not what it's dropped to. So whatever it starts is.
Okay, so I started with 65 and I got a 63, if I'm looking at this right.
Perfect. Right. So everyone that looks upon Olivia suffers no insanity if you made your check, and D4 if you failed.
So I probably gonna shoot this child in the head because it looks like it's no longer human.
You don't have a gun.
So you're gonna do that?
Point my gun. I'm like, that's not human.
I push his hand aside and say, she is still a child. There's something wrong with her. You can't kill her.
You think? You think something wrong with her?
I
There's
start
blood
digging in my
coming out
bag
of
for the
freaking-
chloroform.
Jack, you need to give me a. We're gonna do an check to see if you can hold this thing down as it's fighting against you.
And I think Elias was helping.
Yeah.
I mean, I can roll
yeah.
with the bonus die, but I got a hard.
You got it.
Yeah, I got hard.
Yeah, so it's thrashing against you, but you guys are able to just kind of put your full weight onto it, and you keep it from throwing you off. But you get a sense it could probably get worse before it gets better. You guys definitely need to think. All of you all still hear that music.
Margaret is digging around in her bag for her little bottle of chloroform and a handkerchief.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And when
So
she
you-
finds
you-
it, she will dose Olivia.
Yeah, so you douse this cloth and you just shove it up over this kid's face and kind of thrashes for a little while, and she just goes still. Go limp underneath you, Jack and Elias. Standing there with his pistol ready to pop this.
Oh yeah, I have no problem shooting a kid in the face that no longer looks like a kid.
Yeah. So what do you guys do? So this kid goes still. You hear this music, this singing, this alien sounding coming from deeper into the wood, and there's like a change in, if you could call it that.
I check her eyes again and see if they're still the pitch black.
Yeah. So you pull the pupils back, and they are still black.
I'm like, tie her up.
Who has your rope?
Tie on.
You
I have
got yeah.
I have some leather
Oh, we
straps
have-
in my bag that are used for restraint.
Is it still raining?
It has stopped. It's
Alright.
just really wet. You hear dripping So you tie this. This. I'll put girl in quotes. So you tie her up. And so what do you guys do?
I I try to follow where the music is going.
Yeah, you definitely hear the music, and it seems almost enticing to it. It drawing you further into the wood. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Margaret is torn because she wants to take Olivia back, but she also wants to find the source of the music and if there are the other children, because Olivia said she'd seen them. So she's kind of looking at Luther, who's walked away, and at Elias and Jack, who are still standing.
Jack is going to follow Luther just because he doesn't trust him with a gun, especially if he sees children.
Perfect.
If I see demonic children with blood on their hands and stuff falling in their mouth, I consider that no longer to be human and needs to possibly be put down. That's my thought process.
There is some logic to your solution, Luther. I will give you that. All right, so you guys start moving through the wood, and yeah, that's true. True, Josh. That is redundant. They just don't have the black eyes all the time, and the blood.
Black eyes.
So Elias and
is an indicator of shoot in the face.
Elias.
Oh no, your toddler wakes up. Shh.
Have I more
Taylor's kid knows we're talking. Yeah, I had that. I had the night duty too when my kids were little. So Elias, you start following after.
Yeah, I'm going to follow after, but I'm going to give Margaret the gun. She's, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have any weapons. We've at least got one gun, so I'm going to give her the gun and follow Jack and Luther.
Okay.
Is she trained with a handgun?
No.
God, she's gonna shoot one of you guys.
What do you even roll for handgun?
I'll put it in there.
Firearm handgun.
Yeah. So you hand this handgun to Margaret.
Oh no, that's just the base number.
This handgun to Margaret, and immediately after you give it to her, Elias, you definitely realize that her fired a gun in her life, as she kind of, just by the way she holds it. Yeah, you guys move through the woods, and within a couple of minutes, you come to the very periphery of the clearing surrounding the oak. And as you look into this clearing, what you see the group of small children and standing around this large oak tree. Tied to the oak tree, you see Sister Mary. She looks like she's either it's hard to tell because her face is hidden from you because it's kind of lolled down to the side, but she's bound to this tree, and you see you would recognize him, Margaret. You see Billy, and he's standing there, and in his hand he has like a large like almost like machete or cleaver knife, and he's singing too. And so these kids are kind of like circled, and you notice that they all of them are ring finger. And so they're singing this song, and it almost is like, if you think of the most song, think of the best, your favorite song. That's what this song is doing. What do you do?
Margaret shakily holds up the gun and says, Billy, put down the knife.
Turns towards you as he's singing, and you see the same on his face. Comes across it as he looks back towards nice checks. I don't even want to listen to that, do I? You guys want to do?
I would probably, because she looks like, is she shaking as she's holding the gun?
Yes.
I'd push her aside, take a shot, and shoot him in the head.
Take your shot.
All right, that would be another percentile, correct?
Yep, yeah, it's just your firearm skill.
Okay, that's a 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just rip into this little bull. Do your damage up. What's it, D10 for
It's
pistol?
D8 or D10, depending on the caliber. What type of success is that?
If it's 1924, is the 1911 even out yet?
Yeah, 1911 is a D10.
Yeah.
What type of success was that?
I rolled a 13.
Firearm
Yeah.
skill.
And firearm skill is 40.
All right, so that's a hard success.
Hard success, nice.
So on a D10, I rolled a 3.
Yeah, so Billy takes no as you shoot at him. Actually, he was turning back towards the tree with his arms upraised and that knife.
I hate you right now. Oh God, it's in my brain already. Oh.
All right.
For our viewers, someone decided to put it in a small world after all, and it's now ingrained in my skull. Gotta play Stain right now to purify myself.
Oh shit! So what was your damage?
3 points of damage.
3 points. Okay. Yeah. So the bullet kind of ricochets off of his skull, and you just see him collapse to the ground, and you just see blood start to pool.
Okay. Then I walk over.
Well, the other 9 children that are standing around the tree are still singing.
The tree.
But they're not holding the knife.
Do they all got knives?
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they all have knives?
Yep.
Jeez.
So Luther shoots Billy in the head. Elias, what are you doing?
How do the children look? Do they all have that same black eye?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I have no idea what to do at this point. I gave my gun away.
Margaret thrusts the gun back to Elias and runs forward to try and cut loose Mary.
You're running into
Margaret.
the crowd of crazy children with black eyes with machetes.
Yeah.
Margaret, that's what you do?
Oh,
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
oh.
you run kids, and they don't even give you much mind as you get over to where Sister Mary is cutting her bonds. Yeah, Jack and I didn't hear what you said you were doing, Elias.
I also have no idea what to do, so I'm going to kind of be Margaret's backup, but I'm going to try and sing the song that they're singing while I approach.
Fascinating.
Oh, God.
So you're kind of like,
Roll art and craft singing.
I've got art and craft photography.
Art and craft singing would be 5%.
Yeah. So what's the default on that one, Josh? If he doesn't have it,
It would be 5%.
5. Yeah, you got a 5%. Let's
Okay,
roll
Just
it out.
crit it.
let me try and find a skill that I've actually got 5% in. Just for. Nah, I'm just gonna have to roll it.
Yeah. 5% maybe in law, accounting.
I do have a 5% in law actually. How's a success?
Oh,
Well, wait, no, that's a 50%.
that's a success in law.
That's a success in law.
Yeah.
5% would be. You rolled a 51.
Well, no, that's very much a fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think that you're doing a nice job of mimicking it, but the rest of the investigators with you can. I mean, it sounds nothing like the music that these children, this alien music these children are making. So you get past two of these kids, and you kind of saddle up next to maybe the other side of where Margaret is, and you start cutting some of these binds, this rope that's holding Sister Mary. Jack, what are you doing?
I would be reaching. Oh, you can get opera singing as your art and craft. I would reach into my toolbox and just try to find like a chisel or a small screwdriver, and I just throw it at anything that comes my way. Like if the kids are doing their little like 5th grade performance right now, I'm not going to kill them, but
Yeah.
the moment that
Okay,
they
cool.
come at me, bro, I'm going to lay them down.
Everybody, if everybody could just put their decks in the chat, we will in initiative.
You get plus 50 dex if you have a gun.
You're kidding.
If you get a gun out and ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you need what our deck scores are right now, correct?
Yeah, because that's what establishes initiative in Call of Cthulhu. Perfect.
All right.
So Elias, Jax, and what do you got?
I got 55. I'm trying to add it to this thing now.
Cool. All right. So Elias, you're helping Margaret cut these ropes, and two of these kids break away. One runs at you, Elias, and one runs at Margaret. You can act first, Elias.
Yeah. As soon as they come within reach, I'm gonna punt that kid like a football.
Perfect.
You're still singing while you're doing this, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. These kids are still singing.
Oh.
It's a small world after all. If you could translate, that's what they would be singing.
Yeah. I missed.
I hate you all.
Yeah. Feels all right.
Yeah. So you kick at him and kick at this child, and it just twists off, and it tries to. Its cleaver. Yeah, and you're able to side. Next would be you, Jack. So one of these kids breaks off and comes at you as well.
You come at me?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, I would throw my little small chisel thing at them.
Yeah, it's like a wood chisel.
And it would just kill right over their head.
Yeah, you see it fall off into the harmlessly to the ground, and it comes at you. Now he can retaliate, right?
I was making a ranged attack, if it was his turn and he close distance, he could. But,
Yeah, no, it's not his turn.
Yeah.
It's Luther. It's you now.
I think
One of these kids run at you.
I proceed to pistol whip them to the ground. So take the
Okay.
butt of my gun and hit him in the back of the head.
You tied her up.
Yep.
we gave her the gun. She'll be safe.
That click behind you, Jack, and then the last thing you hear is
It's a small world.
yes, right? Whispered in your ear. And the gun discharging. So what are you doing? You're pistol whipping Luther?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm pistol whipping the kid. Do I need to roll for melee?
Yeah, it'd be brawl.
Brawl.
And because you're using the gun to like pistol whip, it'd be 1d3 plus your
Yeah, that's a fail. I think. I got a 79. My brawl is 60.
Yep.
that would be a fail. So the kid, like he kind of like just drops and ducks. You see him getting ready to come up and gut you. You.
So am I getting
behind you
right now?
No, he's not quite up there yet. Oh, wait, he can attack, can he? Yeah, no. You're able to kind of shove this little kid's, this little girl's head, so it goes wide of your abdomen. Taylor, it's you. You hear a splash as one of these kids rushes toward you.
I'm gonna try and get Mary loose. Just
You kind of look over your shoulder and you see Claire running at you with this kind of evil alien on her face, and she's getting ready to attack you. You able to sidestep and she slips in the mud. And who else didn't I attack? That's a miss too. And
Did
Elias.
he come at me and attack me?
Yes, he did.
I would like to retaliate using my brawl and just kind of grab his arm. I expect he or she is quite a bit smaller, and that would have been a hard success.
Perfect.
Not really doing anything like painful or fighting, but just kind of grabbing the arm and throwing them to the ground.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you grab the arm that has the this cleaver-like blade in it, and you just toss this young boy. He's probably like 9 to the ground. Thuds, but you notice eerily the song that he's singing. He keeps singing it.
Is anyone playing instruments? Or are they using acapella?
It's all acapella. Yeah. Again. A child that's threatening you. You see blood continuing to seep from the gunshot wound to Billy's head into the ground.
Sorry, did you see me there?
Yes, Elias, your turn.
Kind of cut out there. I guess I'm just going to, again, attempt to punch the kid that was in front of me before. Are you kidding? Another fail.
All right, Jack, it's your turn.
Oh man, I see the child on the ground and not want to hurt the child, but as I look down, I see Alice, her young face and this boy's young face, and I know that if I let this boy live, then I might die, and I don't want to risk these children being able to survive long enough to go back to the orphanage and kill my daughter. So, kind of with my eyes trembling with tears, I'd like to pull out a screwdriver from my pocket and just go to sink this child on the ground.
Jeez.
Yes. You do.
That is a success.
This kid do damage.
All right.
When did your bonus?
Would you call a screwdriver a small knife?
Yeah.
All right. So it'll be 2d4. 3 damage.
Dive it down into this kid's chest, and you just feel him go lifeless. His eyes stay black, and you see blood starting to seep from the wound. You kill him. We'll call it it.
What was his real name?
Oh God, really?
Charlie. That one was
Charlie.
Charlie.
Okay.
Yes, Charlie.
You
Or
killed
Chuck.
Charlie.
All right. You are up now, Luther. So you see Jack just kind of slap this kid down and then just kind of ends him with a screwdriver.
Okay.
But he looks like it was not an easy decision as tears streak his face. What are you gonna do? You got this kid, this little girl.
I mean, you shot a guy, so.
So at this point, I pretty much try to wrestle the children down, tie them up, and tell Jack to go get some gasoline. I'm gonna burn this damn tree down there surrounding.
Yeah, me either. Actually, almost. What are you doing, Luther?
My plan is to burn down the damn tree.
Okay. Did you bring gas with you?
The one the children are around, so I tell Jack after he kills the kid to go to the garage or something and bring back some gasoline. If we burn
I
the
have
tree
rubbing
down.
alcohol.
Oh yeah, in her bag, which you probably would have dropped it on the ground.
Yeah, no, it's just on the ground somewhere.
Trying to burn down the mighty oak with rubbing alcohol.
The mighty oak, while it's been raining, I would like to point
Yeah,
out.
really. And while there's children with weapons trying to kill us.
Singing children. Singing. That's really important.
Yes, I think at this point we should, find a way to take out the kids.
So go for it, Luther.
So we need to take out the tree, not necessarily massacre children in large droves. I'm just saying.
Jax.
I'm just saying that's not the true thing because I feel like I'm going to hell for this whole game right here. So we already I already shot one kid in the face, and it's just going downhill.
Oh, Jax, that's
it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm just going to hell.
Are you blanging a kid, or are you slapping him down? What are you doing? This poor little girl, defenseless girl, that's in front of you.
He has a machete. That's not defenseless.
Yeah, it's true. It does look pretty nasty. Are you attacking?
You talking to me?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, I forgot. I thought you were still on Jack. At this point, I basically kick the children off and just like try to disarm them. Are they superhumanly strong, or they still have child strength?
You have a sense that they're as strong as Olivia was when Jack and Elias were trying. It took both of them to hold her down.
Yeah. I pull out my blackjack and just try to start knocking them out unconsciously.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So get this girl that is trying to.
That's a 38. Yeah, that's a success.
So
Blackjack gets 1d6 plus damage bonus.
I rolled a 2, and what else do I add to that?
D4.
damage bonus.
4 points total.
Yeah. With the adrenaline pumping through you, you bring the blackjack down a little bit hard, and you hear the crack, and of like someone kicking a watermelon and breaking it as you bring this blackjack down on her head. Feel her skull give underneath it, and she just crumples to the ground, and blood starts to trickle from her nose and from her ears. Yeah, you've killed her.
I went ahead and rolled an insanity check because I'm trying to see if I'm losing my mind from massacring children. So at this point, I rolled an 8. I think I'm heartless.
You are the child killer, unfortunately,
Damn.
Luther. That's terrible. All right, so jumping over to Margaret, you cut the final bond that's holding Mary, and fall free, and Mary starts to slump and drop to the ground.
I pick her up and say, Mary, we've got to run.
Yeah, you pick her up, and you start to move, and immediately all the singing stops.
Oh, jeez.
And the kids stopped exactly where they are.
They stop moving?
Yeah, all their arms drop down, kind of down to their sides, and moving. There's just that, that quiet, like after a good thunderstorm, and it's like, that's that kind of ominous that you hear. Maybe just your own breathing, or the breathing of each other.
I'm like, get the children and like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Puts an arm around you, Margaret, and says, "Thank you." And she starts laughing.
Oh no!
But then you see these tentacles kind of erupt out around her, where her head would be, and they shoot out Margaret. As that happens, her head just shears off.
Oh shit!
You see this demonic face with tentacles just shooting out and wrapping around you, Margaret, and you feel it starting at your body. And you hear a voice of her mouth, but you hear, "Thank you for completing the ceremony. Again, walk upon the earth." And you see the blood that is just kind of, and you see it dragging across this earth and going right up Margaret. And I think that's where we'll leave it. So you guys have ceremony that brings back Nigorthra, which is
Nagorthra.
Yeah, Nigorthra, the she-devil.
So my first conclusion of shooting her in the face is what I
Yeah.
should have went with.
She was called the She-Demon of Shadow.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so she...
So I'm running like a bitch. I'm running.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I'm dead.
Yeah, Margaret would unfortunately not make it. She is a one. So you would just run. You would definitely have to do like Luther did, run. Is that what you would do?
What, me?
Runs.
Oh, I'm running like hell.
Oh yeah, any chance to get out there alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd run. I'd pick up the machete of the kid I killed, and I'd make sure to kill Libby on my way back just to be safe.
Jesus. Yeah, everyone make a luck roll. Let's see if you're able to actually escape this old one.
Oh, it could be like one bad roll tonight.
So what do I need to roll now?
It's luck. Oh, sweet. Jack gets away and saves his daughter. And again.
I got a 53 out of 40.
And what's your luck?
40.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course, the black guy
63 out of
dies. Just like a
65.
horror movie. First one dead, black dude.
That is terrible. That is terrible, man. I'll give you Luther, because probably the most on edge and ready to run. Taylor, what did you get?
I made it. I got 63, and my luck is 65.
You would have a penalty die, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a penalty.
Look at you!
die.
Look at you trying to kill her off.
So how does a
Because
penalty
she
die work?
was holding Sister Mary, so that would definitely give her a penalty die.
How does that work? I roll a 10.
Just roll a just roll a D10 and you take the higher roll. Six or less, you'll be fine.
Nope. I make it.
Yeah, you can. So quickly, how do you get away from this tentacle-haired demon? Crush you.
Well, I've been working with the woman that used to be Mary, and I say, "Look, a cupcake." And she turns and looks, and let's go. And I bolt.
Yeah, small semblance of the Mary that was, and it's just enough to distract her. So you duck out and pull free of these tentacles and bolt off into the woods.
I have no
Cool.
clue how I was going to get out of that situation.
What you do is you run and keep running. And Luther, so you get a bonus die, so you get to roll. What was your initial roll?
53.
So remember the 3. Roll another D10 and take the lower, either the 5 or whatever the other roll is, whichever's lower.
1. I rolled a 1 on.
Oh, perfect. Oh man, yeah, you are nothing but you got like a vapor trail as you run through this
that works for me. I'm gone. I am running down the street. I am screaming like I have seen the devil itself emerge from a child. I have killed 2 children. I'm rolling insanity check. 99.
Yes.
I freaking fail. Just hit me with insanity.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Shandy of seeing a great old one, it's like, if you fail, it's like a D100. Shandy lost.
Yeah, I failed my insanity check.
So how much did I lose?
Oh, you failed yours?
Oh, yeah, I got 99.
Yeah, great old ones, you're like 1D100 typically.
So that's how much you
lose? So roll
lose?
to see how much sanity. Yeah, roll to see how much sanity you lose.
Jeez.
9.
Oh.
You are insane.
Holy crap.
Margaret survives, but is indefinitely insane.
I see a crazy person that people see on the side of the street, babbling about old ones and demons, and everyone just thinks you're crazy, and really, actually, you are. How about you, Elias? How did you fare on the
on the luck roll? The luck roll was a fail.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about the sanity because you're the first feast, unfortunately, of this great old one. whose material form has been brought back to the world. And that's where we'll end it, guys. Great.
I imagine as Ly's is running through the woods to get away, he forgets about the corpse that he tripped over on his way in, and that's what foils him.
That's what gets him. And the last thing he does is he kind of looks at that dead piece, and he's just like, oh, shit. All right, good. Well, hey, thanks for playing, guys. I'm just going to end the broadcast.